Last we left our heroes, we made the plunge into the frigid depths of Cania, with your first steps taken towards your fateful encounter with the devil. You met the ferryman and made your way down the river Styx upon his skiff en route to the winding fathoms and its inevitable plunge. As you approached, you found it home to hundreds of ice devils, and took cover within the skiff and in the illusion of delivering a pair of items instrumental to the King of Hell below. Your deceptions held up long enough to get within the mountain, where you took a new approach, plunging full steam into the heart of the maelstrom and hoping to discover the secret pass before the devils could catch you. Battling through potential complications and managing to avoid touching the river itself, you held fast, fought hard, and were quick enough to evade your pursuers before slipping through an icy tunnel that slalomed dangerously before ending abruptly, tossing you hard into an offshoot pass of the Reaper's Canyon. As you pulled yourselves up to your feet, you do not appear to have any ice devils on your tail, at least for now. Banking on that idea that devils of Cania fear the reprisals that come with reporting such a monumental failure, you hope to have bought yourselves the time needed to traverse Nessus and reach the Serpent's Coil before they think otherwise. Nevertheless, you stand on Nessian soil in the Reaper's Canyon as planned by Mephistopheles, and now face the trials and choices that come as the heroes destined, fated, or fool enough to save the world as we begin tonight. Valentine.
All of the above. All of the above.
You are currently invisible.
Yep. 50 minutes.
You did a very high stealth check and an equal survival check to gauge the paths forward through the Reaper's Canyon as this labyrinthian canyon of tight, jagged rock passages in this canyon splays out before you. You saw about 3 to 4 miles of canyon stretch before you before it stopped and kind of opened to open terrain and a massive chasm that stretched far left and right across your vision. Beyond that, you saw rocky terrain that you kind of lose sight of, and far in the distance, the tower of Mal'Shem itself, this green infernal iron tower that you know to be the domain of Asmodeus. One note of reminder here, the key here is stealth and avoiding being alerted, avoiding devils coming to alert their superiors that the heroes of the realm are suddenly here and not where they should be on the other side of the gate, battling and at war. In terms of time, you guys still have, I think, between 3 and 4 hours before you would catch up to your present day selves. But the war is underway on the other side of time. And the gate will be standing in its pseudo open. It's been rebuilt, but it's not fully open for ease of travel, as you saw will happen in another 3 or 4 hours. But Valentine, you return to the group and note several creatures that you've seen on the horizons. Nothing immediately close that you immediately spotted, but there are swarms flying around the sky where you can see dozens of imps flying in swarms. There's infernal carrion perched on knotted wiry trees that kind of hang over elements of the canyon. There are foot soldiers and devils that you see kind of very far at a distance, like just kind of walking, patrolling, pulling something behind carts, or you don't know exactly too far to get solid detail. But with your survival and perceptions from before, you believe that you have a solid path to follow, at least a series of paths to get through the canyon, and you think it should take about an hour, given how well you spied this. Provided there's no mishaps, you think you should cross the canyon within an hour.
I'm going to stay invisible, but tell the group I've landed next to them and just kind of share. Don't think we've been spotted. I think it's going to take an hour. From that survival check, you had mentioned I probably found a potentially safe way through that canyon. So I think I'm going to try and start heading us towards that. I would advise Gord is so stealthy because he can hide in shadows. Hondo is pure invisible all the time. Brawley and Mary, maybe you want to keep your winter gear on just to like, it's some sort of way to cloak yourself just to be less obvious with vestiges on you. What do we call these? We don't call them vestiges here.
Relics.
What do we call them? Relics. Please do not sue us, Critical Role. If you just saw that slip up, Critical Role, after 100 episodes, we're so fucking sorry. It's a very different thing.
Technically, I did steal one, so
Don't mention that. We don't have to mention that one.
What the one thing I'll say to that point of keeping on winter gear, it is hot as hell, literally here. So the two of you can absolutely wear that and keep covered. And you, over time in exposure here, will be making constitution saves to like not get exhausted as a result of literally sweating in like winter clothes in the Sahara Desert.
Jesus.
So you're both fighters and barbarians. You have strong constitution. It's not the end of the world, but just something to be cognizant of.
Make sure you get a lot of electrolytes. You know what I mean? Like hydrate.
I'm still wearing the stupid Peter Pan hat. I'm still attuned to it, and so I'm just gonna re-up my disguise.
Okay, what do you look like now?
I'll do the classic half-orcish. Well, actually, no. Should I probably do something more devilish? It depends on what we're doing here. I guess it's only an action to change it.
Tiefling? Like, I don't think you could become like a monstrous devil.
No, it has to be humanoid. Has to be humanoid. It's just more of like, okay, let's just go with, I'll stick with a half-orcish character, because I can speak that at least. Let's just have my clothes, whatever I'm wearing, very like camo to whatever the fuck terrain we're in right now. And then I might change it later.
Very ruddy textures, very browns and reds.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just looking like very worn traveling clothes. Very simple. I do have a question for Allie. Did you set your boon thing that lets you like join with somebody, or like have you set that?
I think I just added it, so you may want to refresh.
I can't remember when how often you get to do that or when you get to do that, but it's something like you set it whenever you want, so you might want to consider doing that sooner than later.
Okay. What was it called again?
It is, I'm just adjusting here now. So in your features and traits at the bottom of your feats section, if you refresh, there should be a boon of the warrior's bond.
Okay.
And as well, everyone has the rune of divine protection, which is an item that everyone is going to have, that if you hit 0 hit points and the death ward part of the rune activates, all of the rune of divine protection fades. But you all have feats, with the exception of Scott, whose feat I couldn't get to work, so it's an item. But you all have your feats that are your boons of the gods. That all provides you with additional elements and benefits and abilities. And Allie, the last thing you also have is I've adjusted in your extras. New Keith is there. If and when you want to summon Celestial Keith, his adjusted stat block is there for you.
He might be a beacon to the devils, though, if this glowing godly goat appears.
He does have a divine now. He's officially a celestial creature, so if there's like a detection of different beings, he would absolutely spark under that. So keep that in mind. But he is there for you if and when you want your baby boy.
Awesome, thank you.
So I didn't realize that thing is once a long rest, so it only lasts for an hour, so never mind. I thought for some reason that it like lasts however long, but it lasts an hour.
Has an hour timeline, and it does cost once a day or once a rest.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet.
Yeah, I'd hang on to that till the last fight, I'd imagine. Or
what is the find greater steed?
So that's
That would be the Keith one.
spell in which you can summon Keith.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it has just a way to translate the idea of summoning Keith.
Oh, that's cool.
Uses the exact same system that Scott Valentine uses to summon Fern. So same concept. Both of you have the same idea. Mary's is slightly different with Mira, but it more or less accomplishes the same thing.
I'll take Brawley's hand and start leading us because I'm still invisible, but she can lead the rest of them.
Sorry, so what is your marching order, please?
I can go first.
I'll go second.
Hondo holds my other hand.
I will say the chasm that you begin to like kind of head down is wide enough to walk two abreast, but you can see sections where it will tighten down to single file immediately, and like from above you could see like there's some sections where like you're gonna have to squeeze through. There's some that's gonna widen to a 15-30 foot kind of wide space. Like it's all over the map. So I asked just for a marching order, just for a loose marching order. So Val, Hondo, Allie, Mary, Gord.
Feels right.
Yeah.
This feels right.
Okay. So the way we're going to do this is based on the fact that Val's survival check was above the 25 DC. There's an encounter table that and a timeline along which lots of things can happen. But because you rolled so well, you're in the smallest increment with a 50% chance of on each roll of safe travel, no issues, 50% chance of some kind of issue happening.
Feels fair.
The way it's going to happen, though, is every 10 minutes of travel, we're going to roll a d6 in this case, and play out whatever one of the encounters and elements is that possibly pops up. And basically, I'm going to break this up. You have roughly an hour in this, so it's going to be 6 rolls. Each time 10 minutes is going to pass. In that 10 minutes, if you want to do something, change something, talk,
sure,
we can do that. But every time we roll, another 10 minutes will pass.
Okay.
Okay, so as you guys begin to get underway, and Valentine leads the charge through this pass where he believes the safest and fastest route through Rupert Canyon in Nessus is going to be, I would ask Valentine to roll a d6 for me.
Five.
Okay.
Why does he smile? Like, what does it mean?
Over the next 10 minutes, you guys begin to follow. And it's difficult at first, Hondo and Allie following behind an invisible figure, but you're watching Val's boot prints kind of leave behind in the sand and grit of like ash and soot in the ground here. You can see him walking before you, but it does have this weird element of like following a ghost into hell. Like it has this extra spooky element. And there comes a point where Allie and Hondo, as you guys are right behind Valentine, where the boots start to kind of shift back and forth, and the kind of starts pacing back over the same space. And at the end of the 10 minutes where Valentine so confidently began to lead you, you seem to be standing in a dead end. The path before you tightens to a single cavernous point, at the end of which you can see our skeletal beings crushed between rock, as potentially a rock slide has come down in this space and cut off this path that maybe Val thought was a way forward. Or perhaps it was always like this. Val, your confidence begins to wane, and unfortunately, you guys spend about another 15 to 20 minutes total and are immediately lost.
Let me just take a little look around. I feel like let me just retrace my steps here for a second. Can I just fly up and be like, what the fuck am I doing out here? Jesus Christ.
We will need to re-roll the overall survival check.
Sure. Fuck me. Okay, survival check. Come on, move this shit. I was like, this would be the fucking perfect time for a nat one. This was a... I really want to get there quick, so I'm going to burn another Peerless skill. Let's fucking do it. So I'm going to add a D10 to this. Oh, a D12, right?
You're a D12. You're a D12.
Okay. So the original roll is 17 plus 4 is 21.
Okay. Not quite over the 25, but you're over the 20 DC. So things do shift a little bit. And you fly up, overlooking your immediate walk, and you kind of circle back and look to see like where you came from, and you can't even see the offshoot in which you guys fell from Cania in here. Like everything begins to like camouflage in on itself. Everything is you're not sure if it's literally like a magical hallucinatory terrain kind of situation where like things seem to shift and move without you seeing them shift and move, or if your mind is playing tricks on you, or what exactly is going on here. But there's something that is making this harder and obviously a challenge, but you return your focus back towards the tower, towards the bridge and the chasm you can see. You think you see where you went wrong. You know you can retrace your steps, and you think you can see the path you saw before. At least you're pretty sure. And you return back to the group. But before you do, I will ask for a stealth check at advantage.
Got it.
You are invisible. However, some creatures in this area can see through that.
With advantage 25, because there was a nat one in there.
With your passive perceptions, you can see in the relatively near vicinity, not like immediately, but within a couple hundred feet, maybe even a little bit further than that, you can see 3 like massive creatures that are about 8 foot to the shoulder, quadrupedal, like massive wolves or hounds, but they're like skeletal bone, jagged elements sticking like spines up their back, and from their mouths you can see the flaming interior of a furnace-like interior to their bodies, and you can see them sniffing and hunting around the upper side of the edges of the gorge, edges of the canyon, and it prompts you to kind of dip back down out of sight.
I'll just get back to the party and warn them about that. Okay, let's avoid this end, but I think I got the trail now. It's back this way. I think Hondo said to go this way, and I should have just trusted my instincts and gone this way.
Retracing your steps and then finding the new path, you've spent about 20 minutes in the first leg, and that has cost you a little bit overall. As a result, you will now be rolling a d8 on the encounter table.
Oh, fuck!
So someone else can roll a d8 for me and see.
I pass it to Hondo. Pass it straight to my boy Blue.
What happens?
A d8?
D8,
kiddo.
And is Val still leading the point here?
Yeah, I would be in front still. I got great perception.
Sounds good. I also want to ask before we play out the next 10 minutes, with 3 is on the die though. Are you guys specifically trying to travel quietly and stealthily, which would be a little bit slower? Not terribly, because part of this is you have to kind of travel slowly based on the terrain. But if you wanted to, you could try and travel quickly and maybe make up some of that lost time. Or do you try and travel stealthily?
I vote for stealth, but what do you guys
think?
think?
I think we have to be quiet.
Yeah.
There's a reason we gave ourselves so much extra time when we went back with all those slots of the staff, right? Like, we want to make sure that we do this right.
Then,
I agree.
As the next 10 minutes play out, I would like a stealth check from everybody, please.
Come on, team.
This will be a group check. So,
hell yeah.
And overall, and Gord is going to be invisible for this, so he gets advantage with a 24 for Gord.
Sick.
20.
Natural 20
Nat
for
20
Hondo.
for Hondo. That's like most invisible you ever been. I'm 27.
I'm really glad you guys are rolling well because
23.
Nice, probably. Mary, what did you get? Come on.
I rolled a 2 on the dice.
But what is
So,
that, like
like,
18?
Still probably fine.
No, it's 14.
Pretty close.
The other 4 certainly carry the slack in this odd moment for Mary, this odd misstep.
I am not used to being the loud one.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I think more what it is for Mary is there are too many threats for you to be having your head on a swivel here, and you're not jumpy to say that you are like nervous, but you're just trying to be too aware of all the threats that are literally 360 degrees around you, that you're just not focused on trying to be quiet so much as like preparing for anything to jump over the side, come out of the side of a canyon, pass and try and kill you. So you're just ready to protect your friends, and that loses your focus to your step. However, with Hondo's role and added guide to Valentine, 10 minutes of safe travel pass, and you continue through on what you believe to be this this direct path out of the Reaper's Canyon. Another roll for another 10 minutes, please. Let's go to Allie. A D8,
Yes.
please.
Come on, bro.
Five.
5. At this point, there's a point where you're all walking and you feel very confident in how stealthy you've all been. When you begin to hear sounds above, you can see like little rocks begin to kind of, and all of you kind of cling to the sides and take to the shadows. 2 of you are literally invisible. Hondo is basically invisible, but Mary and Allie, you guys tuck into shadow. And you know the peaks of this canyon is maybe 100 to 200 feet, depending on elevation, different points. And at one of these lower points, about 20, 30 feet ahead of you, you see this kind of maw of this massive, large, like infernal hound creeping its head over. You'll watch flame flare from its mouth before it kind of withdraws. Given the context, you think these creatures are watching this pass forward. You don't think you can safely progress down this path and need to find a new route. It unfortunately costs you extra time, and you have to reroll stealth survival again.
No one else roll 5s. 5s are bad.
I'm also gonna say, I'm gonna ask for a new person to roll the survival check.
Do it. I was going to suggest someone else do survival.
Like after 2, like technically that one's not your fault. I mean, none of them are your
but
fault.
Someone else take the reins.
But I think it's only fair now at this point for the 3rd survival check here, we get either a new person to find a new way to get survival. What I will also say is the best way to do this is to get the aerial perspective. So some way you have to find a balance of doing both these things. If you keep to the ground and run a roll survival, it will be a disadvantage. So between you guys, what do you do?
Allie's survival is decent. What if like we try to sorry, go Kyle.
I was just going to also say, at the end of this survival check, Valentine's invisibility will fade.
Yep.
The 50 minutes has passed.
Oh, after this one. Okay, gotcha.
This would be like, technically this will be 20 minutes of like trying to figure yourselves out. Once this survival check is to find your new path, we'll be on to the next roll, and that would be the 50 minutes past of your invisibility. But technically you have it up for this roll.
Like, what if we try to find a spot that like Allie can get like a bit of a climb up because her athletics is good. She's tanky. She can climb shit. We try to find a spot that's like might be a little advantageous to get, even if it's not a full aerial perspective, like a half view.
I could assist too, like flying next to her just to make sure like we get up to the side. I think I'm too weak to literally carry both of us flying in the sky.
But you could be like a handhold if like there's a spot that's not a handhold or something.
The alternative is the carpet. We always have this carpet if we wanted to like fly up.
It's fucking huge, and we just saw giant ass wolf things that are patrolling.
We did. Hondo's good at piloting it pretty stealthy though. Like he's a stealthy motherfucker.
Leave it to me. I can handle it.
We have two options. I assist Brawley up a canyon wall, or Brawley, you have been volunteered for this. Either way, it seems. Or Hondo takes you up in the magic carpet ride, whole new world style, and you look with him. What do you feel comfortable with?
I am down for whatever is going to be the safest, quietest, best way.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Okay.
Great call. Here we go.
Straight D20 plus your intelligence modifier.
Oh, natural 20.
Yeah.
This is good.
Okay. You know hunters very well. You know these beasts that are on the hunt. You took, as they kind of poked in and looked, the creature you saw, if they have even the glimmer of your scent already, then you need to be on the move. While aerial travel is going to give you the speed, it's going to make you the most obvious visual target in an otherwise, unobscured sky. So you either need, if you're going to take the carpet, you need some form of obfuscation to make that not seem like obviously two people on top of a flying carpet, because this check is going to take you a minute to kind of ascertain these paths. If you're able to find a tall point, to Mary's kind of point, to climb up, and you can be stealthy on Earth, whereas on a carpet there's no stealthing. So if you want to try and take the slower approach, it's probably the safer approach, unless you can obfuscate being on the carpet. That would be your way you take this.
No, I'll be safe in scale for sure.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask for an athletics check from you, as you guys very easily are able to find kind of a tall, a pointed peak of one of the cliff walls as you kind of backtrack a ways. Athletics check for you, and Val, you're going to fly up kind of alongside, just as a steadying hand and an advantage check.
Yeah.
It's advantage? Okay.
You'll have advantage on the survival. It's a straight roll for your athletics.
Okay. Athletics is 17.
Not too bad. I'd say it costs you about 5 minutes to climb, which is honestly pretty good. You're still very, very strong, but it's just trying to do it slowly and carefully. Valentine does kind of at your back every so often, just try and just guide and aid, but really the climb isn't a challenge for you. It's just trying to do it slowly and carefully. But as you kind of pull yourself up over the edge, look in all directions, go ahead and make a perception check for me with advantage, given Valentine's aid. And then there'll be a survival check after this.
Perception is also 17.
Okay.
And survival is 21.
Okay. Between the two of you, Allie keeping low, Val, you can already begin to feel your invisibility is waning off of your person, and you can already kind of feel that magic is draining out in your last moments here. So you're trying to keep a little lower on the horizon. But Allie, you kind of creep up and use your cover of your cloak and your winter gear to kind of just like look like an extension of the rock itself, but keep low, looking across the kind of horizon, the top of this canyon. You can see the hounds have moved on a little. They've moved down the pass, and you guys are maybe 400 or 500 feet from them now. Like you don't think of them as a direct threat anymore. And they don't seem to have spotted you, and you don't seem to see anything obviously in the air above watching. With your survival, you can see that the pass that they were on is probably a direct path, but you think you found another one on the other side here that maybe is probably not any faster, but it's safer and it's further from these hounds. So you found a new path to follow, and easy enough are able to climb back down with Valentine's aid, and you can begin directing everyone down this new series of trails and paths and tight corridors, and hopefully not find any more dead ends.
Do you think that took 10 minutes there? So we're like at 50 minutes total now?
50 minutes has passed as we roll into the next
Got it.
this next roll here. But is there any other prep you guys want to do before continuing this next leg?
Yeah. So
Okay. Then
I think so.
I'll ask Mary to roll a d8 as we roll
Yeah.
around to the next character. And I'm just for I like to think of like if Allie rolled the survival, she's now kind of in the leading the group.
Mhm.
So in my order of operations, I slide Allie now out front, but keep everybody else the same.
I
That's
rolled
cool.
a 2.
A 2.
What does it mean?
Another 10 minutes pass.
Failure.
Gord's invisibility is going to fade, but he can cast it again innately, so he does without expending anything. So Gord remains invisible, but 10 minutes continues you down a safe-ish, however you want to consider safe here, an unobscured path, not finding yourselves caught in any infernal trickery, and are able to get a little closer and closer to your end goals. However, unfortunately, these couple of stops have cost you that extra time, and you can feel that hour has passed and you're still in the midst of the canyon. You still probably have another half hour from like where Allie, you gauge you've made maybe about halfway, a little bit more into your journey. So you probably have another half hour to go.
We're now at an hour, probably about another half hour to go.
We're losing time.
Making great time. Things are great. We're in hell.
Unless there's any other changes, it'll be Scott to come back around for a D8 on this.
What about
next
you
roll.
for Gord? What about you for Gord?
I can do it if you like.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, it's just a digital thing anyway. So,
Welcome to the party.
what does Gord bring for the rest of you? Everyone can see
4.
a 4.
RT kill.
Continuing behind Alana. Alana's newfound path and confidence in her experience as a tracker and as a hunter in her former non-superhero life. You find safe travel. Once again, another 10 minutes passes, and you're forced into tight caverns and passes where you have to go single file. You do begin to see some forms of like plant life that is growing that you want to keep your distance from.
That sounds scary.
You can see elements of a dark purple, almost black kind of bramble that is like kind of growing up out of elements of the rock and through elements of the rock, like through tunnels and passages, almost like ant hills through, like it's wound its way and carved its way out of the rock itself. You also have passed by a couple of you passed by other passages that would go off, but Alana's kind of directions have held true. But some of these passages you've passed, you've heard the sounds of like echoed moaning and wailing and crying. You've smelled awful stench, worse than just the death that you've kind of smelled in your past. An acidic rot has kind of wafted through from certain paths. And obviously there's kind of an ever-present sulfurous smell to the air. But those passages you definitely don't want to engage with. And Allie keeps you true. Alana keeps you true on the path for another 10 minutes. You're getting closer. Not quite out of the canyon yet, Valentine. What does a D8 tell you?
Feeling good. Lucky number, I can't see that, it's underneath my thing. 3.
It's a 3. You hasten your pace ever so slightly, but in all that's been said here, between Valentine and Elena's checks and the survival, things are progressing safely and much more efficiently after these couple of dead ends. And you've thankfully not found any other creatures stopping to sniff and check up on you. And you can begin to start to hear the sound of kind of wind begins to kind of like whip through the canyon, and you can kind of begin to feel the breeze coming, and that gives you the sense of like getting closer to an opening, whether that's the end of the canyon or perhaps just a large section of canyon that happens to have something passing through. Nonetheless, you are getting closer and closer, feeling confident towards the end. Hopefully, only one more check to go. As we go to Hondo for the hopefully last.
How long's it been? An hour and a half, you think?
20, 40, 60, an hour 20.
Okay.
This would be the hour and a half mark after this next 10 minutes.
Roll a 5.
Fuck.
On the D8, or is that a D20?
Oh, sorry, that's a D20.
Oh,
I saw the little
convenient.
orange
Well,
look
it's
to it.
good.
Give me those better odds. Come on. I don't
one.
know if we rolled a 1 yet. Who knows what that means?
Okay.
1 is good.
That confidence is carrying you forward, and you begin to kind of lose step of like being stealthy and quiet as you're kind of getting closer and closer, and you've passed for the last 30 minutes basically uninterrupted, just confidently, quietly making your way, barely speaking to one another, just making progress, and you can almost see like light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, though it's not technically true. You're not in a tunnel. When Valentine, Hondo, and Mary and Gord, your passive perceptions pick up the sounds of creatures ahead. You can just hear this kind of sniffing and that same kind of rock falling. And you're also perceptive. You can hear it's directly on ground level ahead of you, as well as above. You don't see anything yet, but it's like echoing through the winding cavernous pass. Something is ahead.
I'm gonna make sure my bow's out.
No problem. What do you do?
Do we have anything to lure them away? Maybe I'm just gonna like try and back us up a bit, just like trying to slowly creep backwards. But do we have anything to lure them away? Like, we could, I don't know, like
Anyone got
a sound, or how far away can I do minor illusion?
That's not very far.
Yeah, do an illusion of like someone running or walking or something.
I think you can do a sound with minor illusion too. I might be wrong.
Only 30 feet away. Ooh, let me check one thing. I have that. What does this do? Can I use the scroll mislead, which we've never used before?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I have an idea. And I go into my bag and I'm gonna take out the scroll. I'm gonna cast mislead, and I'm gonna be like, I'll be blind and deaf when I use this. Someone used it on us before. I think it was my uncle or someone bad. Just pilot me around while I do this, and then I will become invisible as a duplicate of me appears, and then I'm gonna move the duplicate forward and start trying to crawl up the, like, I guess I don't have to crawl because I'm a duplicate. I'm gonna like move it up like the canyon wall.
You want to go to the top of the canyon?
I'm gonna like I'm just gonna try and like see if I can lure them away from us. So like if we have to go through them, I'm gonna try and like move them, like I'm just gonna try and put them on a path like but away from us.
Okay. Sorry, so you want to send your duplicate up and ahead?
If we have to go through them,
Yeah.
I want to send the duplicate like this way.
Okay. Okay, they can start climbing. It's an illusion. It makes it look like it's climbing. Valentine, while doing this, is blind and deaf as long as you're seeing through it. But as long as you're just like controlling it, you're fine. What are the rest of you doing in this moment? Are you trying to progress forward and hoping this illusion is a distraction enough, or are you hunkering down to see if they take the bait?
I think we need to pause for at least a second. Allie, if you're comfortable, I might put you on moving around Val
Yeah.
duty. Like just,
do that.
if you need to, grab his hitch and push forward to get him to run.
Okay.
I think we can pull aside and just give it 30 seconds past us being able to see the illusion anymore to see what happens.
Okay.
And just listening.
So my illusion can move twice my speed. It can gesture, speak, and behave in any way you choose. So I'm gonna have its wings come out, and then I'm just gonna just wait for those little wolf things to see me.
Okay. But can continue climbing up the.
Yeah, just
pretend
slowly
climbing?
looking like this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be making little comments to myself like, "Oh gee, oh gosh," as
Okay.
I'm trying to go up.
Make a deception check for me, and I'd like everyone to make a stealth check for me.
I wish this would show up. 34.
Yeah, it's a very convincing illusion of you.
17.
17, 21.
I rolled a 13, so total 30.
Jesus.
And Gord is invisible, so he gets advantage. Roll. Not great for Gord, though. 15.
Gordon. That was with advantage?
I was with advantage. It was a 6 and a 5.
Kyle, could
and-
I use an action at some point to dip some arrows in? I have a bunch of files of the wyvern poison. Last time I think you just had me roll a d4 to see how many, right?
Yeah, you can roll a d4, but also make a sleight of hand check, because that is a potential sound as well. So just sleight of hand.
Oh, 18 plus sleight of hand.
Easy enough.
Whatever that is. 6.
You go through the motions of dipping a d4 plus 1 arrows.
It's just normal. I'm not going to do plus 1. I'm just going to do...
A d4 plus 1 number of
Oh,
arrows.
I understand. Well, I rolled a 4, so I get 5.
You have 5 arrows.
Yeah.
You're very deft with getting the poison applied without wasting a drop. As you kind of hunker down and back up into a corner, Gord takes into his invisible shadows, just tucks into the shadow. Hondo seems to melt into them as well. Valentine invisibly in Alana's kind of arms is tucked off to the side. All of you wait for a breathless moment as a minute, and 2 minutes, and 3 minutes pass. As illusory Valentine is climbing, you watch as you're kind of climbing on the left side of the wall, and all your eyes are kind of just trailed on this as well as directly ahead. From the right wall, leaping over the canyon, you watch one of those beasts clamber and dive bomb Valentine's illusion and just start tearing flames wreath out of its maw and scar and scorch the rock ahead as it's just trying to rip apart this illusion that just kind of continues. Or do you react accordingly?
I will be like, oh God, please. And I'm gonna try and fly past it, now picking up speed, going twice as fast as I actually can, and just trying to lead this thing away.
Okay, I'd like an Arcana check for me.
Got it. Real good, 30.
You guys see another. You see as the illusory Valentine begins to fly up into the air, the one who was clinging to the side is and takes off and begins climbing and running after it. Another one leaps across the canyon overhead and is tearing after it as well. Ahead of you, you hear the sounds of one and begin to kind of run off in the distance. But one seems to remain and seems to have caught a scent, but it's not sure what it is yet. And all of you seem to have like rolled high enough stealths to like not have immediately gone into like a full hunt, but it feels like something is not right to this beast. And at a closer view, you can see, it's about 8 feet tall. Its head is kind of punched within its shoulders. It's like one big, massive, like hulking hound. With its eyes are not quite bulging, but they're set within the head. It has these kind of ears that are like long but pinned back, and they kind of flick and flare out, but as like very like pinned to the side of its like very angular skull, down to these like saber-tooth tiger-like massive fangs and teeth, and a maw that is just hanging open within. You can just see that flame of like a forge active. These massive 4 bipedal claws and paws. And it just gonna make one last check here.
How far away is it from us?
It is at this point like 50 feet, as it's kind of coming around the edge of the canyon where you couldn't see directly down. It's coming closer and closer to you, about 50 feet from you, but you guys have stealthed very well. You're hidden, tucked within canyons, and there are lots of these little shelves within that you can hide in little edges and caverns and nooks and crannies. It's gonna make one last perception check, but you can do something if you like.
I'm just
Let's picture you bow trained on this thing.
Getting a bow ready and kind of nudging Hondo just in case.
Okay. You prepare an arrow, and you want to just kind of check. The lowest stealth here was a 15. The next was a 17, if I remember correctly. Gord rolled 15. Someone rolled 17. See if it can catch on to your scent and continue. Whether it immediately finds you, probably not, given the rest of you, but it's still here. You guys watch it continue to pad another 10 feet closer, getting within 40 feet of you. And it looks up at the wall that fake Valentine had just like clambered up and fucked off, and now scattered off towards like what would be the west of where you're headed, so to speak. And it looks about the ground, and you see it get low, and it's saying another 2-3 minutes. It's got the scent of something, and it doesn't want to let go yet.
Yo, kill this fool. What are you kids doing?
Yeah, I'll to like ridiculous, like very quietly under my breath. Alana's still hanging on to Val, so she's focusing on that. But if Gord and Hondo are near me, I just like count down from 5 very quietly.
Okay.
And see if we can just everyone dogpile this shit from a distance.
As you say 5, you get to 4, and the thing kind of begins to perk its head up. You hit 3, and you watch its eyes fixate in your direction, like it's still searching. 2, you watch it get low and prepare to pounce. On 1, it leaps. I'd like everyone who's going to take an action here roll an initiative check.
Let's go, gang. This guy's not shit on us. Come on.
Oh, awful.
Rolling for Gord too.
I rolled
excellent. You're right. Gord.
Gord's gonna crush this.
Not bad, actually. Gord's 17.
Go.
24.
If the viewer hasn't chimed in yet, Gord cannot make tonight's appearance. He's not feeling well.
That's right. Normally I say that. He was not playing very well, so I will be Jaegering Gord for the time being, who will mostly be silent.
Which will be a shock to you if you're 106 episodes in.
Hondo, did you roll initiative?
15 and 11, 26.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Okay, Mary, what was your excellent roll?
24.
Nice.
21 for me.
And 21 for Allie. Hondo, what do you do?
I was going to ask you, you haven't prepared a map or anything, right? No.
This is just going to be theater of the mind, just like, especially seeing as there's only one guy left.
Okay, I'm going to just throw a whisper.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Make an attack roll.
Yep. Boom! 20.
Oh my god.
You absolutely get sneak attack. Like it was had the scent, but it was focused on Mary, not on you at all. So it's like it's leaping towards the opposite side of the canyon, even though it's only about 10 feet. You catch it like mid-leap. It bares its chest as it like rises up. You got a dead shot. Go ahead and roll your psychic damage, your sneak attack damage, and your weapon damage. And we will double all the dice.
Oh my god.
4, 5, 6, 7. And then psychic blades.
Sure, you
Are you
want to
gonna
put a
use
psychic
that?
blade?
Can I? Oh wait, did I use it? I think I might have.
You can
Is that-
use it's one of your bardic inspirations. You can expend a bardic inspiration to deal 2d6 additional psychic damage, which would be
No,
double.
I don't.
Yeah, when do you
I
get
don't-
those back on? If you don't get them back on a short, you might want to save them.
Yeah, I'll hold that maybe, but I'll still do the regular. So 1d4. Okay, the total is and plus 8. So this is my
Would-
total.
So 29. I think
Wait,
you
you should-
still
you should
have
get more
psychic
than
damage
that.
as well. You have psychic damage on the blade as well. There's 2d4 to add to that.
That was 29 plus 2d4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 2d4.
On top
So
of the
it's
1d4. So it's
3d4.
3d4.
Total
Oh.
for the blade.
Plus 8.
The
So
38
So
total?
66.
66 plus 8 comes up to 74.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
What a throw from the shadows.
Do you teleport with it? Or do
Yeah,
you
we do.
out of the shadows, whisper? And you watch it just bury itself right into the heart. And this thing mid-roar lets out a horrid kind of yelp and already begin to like be falling. Blood spills and it's red hot as you catch onto the hilt of Whisper, and it begins to kind of singe and burn your hand. Do you use your bonus action attack?
Yeah, I will. I'll use frostbite.
Yeah,
You don't
go
have
ahead.
frostbite anymore.
What happened to Frostbite? We saw
Did I?
it.
Frostbite.
I thought you said you murdered frostbite in Sigil.
No, we still have Frostbite. I think.
I don't remember.
It's still in my item list. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I for
mean,
some
you can
reason
use
thought
that, or you can use the
frostbite
Gambler's
got
Blade.
busted ass out in Sigil, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'll use Gambler's Blade then. I'll use Gambler's Blade. So
We'll check the
1d8.
tape.
So rolling d20. It's an 18.
Yeah, you hit 1,000%.
And Gambler's Blade is 1d8 plus 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled a 2.
With 7.
7?
Your hand catches onto Whisper, and you already feel this molten blood seeping over your hand as it begins to turn. And it's the size of a lion, if not twice the size of a lion. It's a massive creature that you're now standing beneath as you raise the Gambler's Blade through the jaw into the brain, and it just slumps dead beside you.
I'll just be like, I guess you were too hot to trot.
You do take 10 points of fire damage from
It was
the
worth it.
molten heat of its bloody form. But
Worth it for that joke.
in one round, one turn,
Wow,
one
one
shot, you eliminate one of these Nessian warhounds.
He
I'm
is.
immediately looking up to see if the yelp caught anything else.
Hondo is resistant to fire. Is that 5 then?
So you would take 5 if he's resistant to fire.
Oh,
Where's that fire resistance from?
Our
Frostbite.
sweet boy Vesaria.
Well, I don't think. Alright. I didn't think so, but okay.
That's what the old sheet says. He's
Yeah,
not attuned to frostbite? Would that matter? No, it's not an attuned thing.
I thought a long time ago I stripped the resistance from frostbite, but I kept the cold damage it dealt.
Maybe that's it. It was just still in his defenses thing. So, Hondo, you probably do take the 10.
Because having
Unless
that
there's
was
something else.
too strong, but I don't remember enough. Ultimately, you can take the 5 for
Yeah,
now.
fine.
It doesn't ultimately matter, but knowing whether you have resistance to fire is going to matter.
Oh, God.
Obviously, you're in hell. So we have to figure that out. What are you talking about sigil and frostbite, Leah?
I thought you said there was a point where we were trying to pry something open or like turn something with a sword. Kevin used frostbite to do it. And then it like broke or got stuck. Because I remember you at the end of the game saying, yeah, Frostbite is dead now. And I could be wrong.
I need
But I
so much
thought-
more detail than that.
It was when we were going into the vault to like beneath the general's place. And there was a point where
He put it in the middle of like the anti-magic
anti-magic field thing.
the
wasn't a
anti-magic.
longsword?
No, it was frostbite. I remember
because
it
his longsword would have been too big.
because it was anti-magic. It stripped the magic of it when you tried to basically force it to turn, and it pulled its magic and basically broke it as a result because it became a normal blade as you put it into the anti-magic like element of it. That makes sense. So
R.I.P.
frostbite
Frostbite.
is indeed dead.
I'm
Means
sorry.
you just did take 10 damage, not 5.
You did
And
take
you're
a
actually
hole.
dead. You actually did die.
Unfortunately,
I'm sorry,
frostbite.
guys.
This is
That
worse
memory is great.
than prostitute.
What about prostitute?
This is worse than the backseat prostitute.
No, yeah,
Gord.
that's fair.
Actually, Gord hates Tabaxi. He doesn't take any offense to that.
Given the additional time spent on like just hunkering down and keeping watch and expending time in this, not the fight necessarily, but in the waiting for these creatures to stop hunting, another 15 minutes pass, and then you begin to exit out to the edge, where you finally made your way to the end of this element of the Reaper's Canyon, and you found a mouth to an open expanse beyond. As you listen, you don't hear anything above, drawn by the sounds of this creature. How quickly it was slain, that sound did not carry. We'll give you that. If the fight gave it to its round, for sure, but literally less than 6 seconds happened and it was dead. So you feel confident that there are still plenty around, but the illusion that Valentine casts out, as this creature falls, Val, do you maintain the illusion flying away, like to try and keep
I have
these
no
things hunting?
idea this is fallen, so I'm gonna keep going with this thing.
How long does it
for an
last until?
hour. Lasts
for
an
an
hour. I'm not gonna be in an hour, but until someone starts squeezing me, like then I think I would stop it.
Well, then before we progress forward, how long do you guys wait before Valentine, either alerting Valentine or before Valentine falls back to his consciousness?
Can we?
I can talk like this, so I think I will say at some point, probably in a minute, if nothing has happened, please squeeze my hand 3 times if we're okay.
That worked.
I'm assuming Elena squeezes his hand 3 times.
Meanwhile,
we're not all dead.
like floating Val is just doing like barrel rolls through the air, trying to lead these things like away.
You indeed succeed in leading these things away. And are you watching through its eyes the whole time?
Yeah, I'm in it. If I'm in it, I can't see the other thing.
You begin to kind of lead away, and you're flying and flying and flying and skirting over top of the Reaper's Canyon.
Yeah, low to the ground.
At a certain point, you watch as skirting low to the ground, you watch the ground kind of drop away. And this is still back further within the canyon. Like you guys in your physical forms are past this point, but it is further to the west and back a ways. You can see the canyon drops down into a bit of a valley. There are a pair of stone watchtowers that you immediately, like you're flying so fast, you didn't see until you're about to crest over top of. Through your vision, you can see a pair of stone watchtowers over a deep canyon. And there's a bridge that crosses the two towers. Around the exterior, you can see a number of devil figures. There are these seem to be like foot soldiers of hell, and there's a pair of these massive, like fleshy, like just they look like mounds of flesh given legs and like easily 500-600 pounds a piece of just rolling sickly flesh. They're dragging a heavily laden cart of these lustrous black stones or gems, like all piled up in this cart. But you can see on the left tower, where you're like flying kind of along the line of a monstrous black leathery winged crown of angular horns and the muscle-bound form of a pit fiend that is commanding this small group and legion around. It turns to see the illusory form flying across, and it spots the illusion. What do you do?
I'll immediately drop it.
You return to the present.
Holy fuck. Are we alive? You guys good?
Keep it the fuck down, but yeah. What?
I just saw a pit fiend and it saw me. We need to keep moving quick.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
Do we see anything out then end of this open space?
As Valentine comes back to his consciousness here, and you guys begin to kind of take those last steps of last couple hundred feet towards this end. Light begins to kind of filter into the canyon a little bit better, and the air begins to thin, and that wind kind of begins to shift a little bit more. The air becoming less oppressive and more windswept, but with that wind comes an iron tinge. You can taste it on your tongue, you can smell it in the air. The pass begins to open up to a mouth in the wall of the canyon that lies now largely behind you. But before you, you can see stretching ahead a long shelf of earth and an impressively large winding gorge that just drops out of sight. The sounds of buzzing, squealing metal and wailing humanoidish or creatures sound is carried up by this howling wind. I guess not howling wind, but just a windier, a blustering of wind. But those sounds are carried directly towards you. All across this gorge, it stretches and winds for miles left and right. And across it, you can see a Badlands landscape of tumbled rock and cracked earth, or pillars and spires of broken rock that stretch along the horizon of this massive kind of tumbled red rock, kind of classic expanse. Within it, you're very perceptive and can see elements of fallen structures, some metallic elements that maybe are reminiscent of some of the infernal war machines that you've seen used, not necessarily in hell, but of hell. These don't look active. They look like husks and been left to be sandblasted by time and this wind and this expanse. But the kind of Badlands beyond the gorge, they stretch and rise before dropping out of sight. You can't see anything over this kind of tumbled horizon. Not far past that horizon line, you once more see the imposing tower of green infernal steel that is Mal'Shin, citadel of Asmodeus. It is like a beacon at all times, no matter which way you look here, there it stands. Closer, though, the gorge. You can see, to cross it, a bridge of thick rope and infernal steel panels, connected at each end by a pair of twisted iron-like trees. You look left and right along the gorge, and while still tucked within the protections of this canyon, you can see a couple of other bridges left and right, but they're stretched and separated by a mile of open terrain. This one to you is relatively close. But as you're kind of all watching, I'd like everyone to make a perception check for me.
Really good. 33.
26 for Gord as well.
I scored.
14 for me.
Okay.
25.
Really good. Come on, Hondo. Hondo's was 13 on the dice. What do you add to that?
What was the check again?
Perception.
Perception.
Perception 15.
Yeah.
Plus 13.
Yeah, all of you can see, as you're all kind of tucked into the elements here, you're a little bit more exposed, just as you're trying to like gauge here than you were kind of in the shadows of the canyon. But there are still elements within the rock, within the mouth of this canyon element here, as well as multiple different passages around and pockets and caverns and caves within that you can kind of hold yourselves and keep out of cover. But as you're taking a minute here to look at what stands before you, in the distance down to the west, you see a creature several hundred feet off, perched on a rocky spire of the canyon that kind of reaches out and kind of claws out over towards the gorge itself. You watch as it's perched on this rocky spire, and it roars this throaty screech before stretching taut leather wings, and it leaps and begins to fly over the gorge. It looks dragon-like, but sickly and uncoordinated. It flies over the gorge, seemingly hunting. You've seen similar motions and reactions out of other hunting beasts. You begin to fear that it could be hunting you, given your position here, and maybe it has caught your scent. And you begin to kind of pull back and again, like knock arrows and kind of keep to the shadows. It's still a ways off, but that fear still like rises up. Before you see something begin to rise out of the gorge, like a snake of tendril of static, kind of rises up out of the gorge, winding. This column collides with the chest of the beast, and you watch it like envelop the entirety of the beast, and through its croaking howls, you watch it be torn apart. Its leathery, like boil-covered skin is ripped and torn. You look closer, and those of you who rolled above a 20, which is most of you, can see the static is instead a swarm that splits apart, and inside of that swarm is dozens and dozens of 7-foot-long wasps that swarm, overcoming the beast, and in a matter of seconds, this creature that was the size of a young dragon is ripped apart, its wings snapping and falling back into the gorge. Its carcass falls away into darkness, and these groups of wasps carry large hunks of meat and bone back down with a sound of metal ringing and shaking as they return back into the gorge once more.
Have we heard anything about giant fucking bees? Is that a hell normal thing, or should we be concerned?
Oh, we're definitely in hell when there's bees that size here.
We'd be concerned in hell. I think we should be concerned. Bees?
I mean, sure, are they supposed to fucking be here, or is this something else sketchy going on?
You can make a history, nature, or arcana check if you want to try and ascertain if this is weird or if this makes sense?
I'll do a history check. Why not?
Sure.
Looks normal to me.
29.
You have no
Jesus,
idea,
I rolled.
I don't fucking know.
but it seems like it would be something that would be awful.
Seems like hell. Yeah, it seems pretty shit. This place
Like-
sucks.
I can't say that in all good consciousness, I can't say that you would have heard any good stories or any real reference to know that these things are a normal occurrence, but it fits the motif.
Listen, this is better than the Abyss, okay? The Abyss sucked. Hondo ate his own hand in the Abyss, so this is always better than that.
Yeah, well, we're not done our day yet.
It's true.
I have a question. I can't remember if we talked about this
Ugh.
before. We need to find a way to cross this plane, potentially without being seen, and across this bridge. Do we see anything else moving across the bridge, or was that the only kind of thing?
You don't see
I
any
guess that's the
other,
first question.
you don't see any other living creatures kind of being to crossing the bridge here. You don't see anybody, any creatures on kind of the expanse of rock and the shelf that leads to the gorge on either side. That was the only other creatures that you saw actively. Beyond really, really far away, you can see clouds of, like I said, more of those imps and flying off in the distance, and you can hear the sounds. You're all very perceptive. You can hear the sounds of activity that kind of echoes from a very far distance. Like you can hear the sound of a city from a distance away in otherwise quiet country. You can hear the sounds of what sounds like an industrious something on the other side where the horizon beyond the gorge kind of dips away. Nothing immediately.
Okay. Do we have any idea of if we were just to walk at a normal pace, how long of a walk is it going to be over this bridge?
At a normal pace, you guys could be over it in a minute or two, a couple of minutes at most. It's not an exceptional walk, but it puts you in the open.
Yeah. Have we talked before about we still have vials of etherealness? How does
what a great
the
call out.
the ethereal plane work with hell, or does it not?
That would be a Arcana, or Arcana is probably the only check for that.
I could just check with my
Question.
jacket. You mean
That goes to...
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, that goes somewhere else, but that's
The astral sea.
interesting.
That goes to the astral plane. The ethereal. So the ethereal plane, which you would be.
Do you want me to
aware
roll
of,
this before you tell us more?
Yeah, you guys would all be well aware of this basic level of the ethereal plane, but you can go ahead and roll the Arcana check, and I will give you more information. But the ethereal plane is the plane of the dead, essentially. It is the transitionary period, or however you want to consider, a pseudo purgatory before your soul moves on to wherever it's supposed to go, and is the plane within which that kind of crosses the borders of living and dead between the planes, but mostly on the material plane. You're not sure how that interacts with other planes where the dead end up as well. What did you roll?
Nat 20.
Oh yeah. Most of
34, just so you know, if that helps.
Most of the outer planes do not border the ethereal because they are beyond it. The border ethereal encompasses all of the inner planes: Feywild, Shadowfell, material plane. You can sometimes see crossover in some of the other planes, but on a plane like this, it is beyond the ethereal.
So it wouldn't work.
You wouldn't be
don't
able
think
to
it would
enter. You wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
enter into the border, as it doesn't exist here.
So we
That was a really
can't
good
use
idea,
it to shit. I was hoping since it would have worked in Sigil that it would have worked here too, but I guess it's different.
It's a great
Sigil
idea.
technically counts within, it's like an astral. It's almost like a demi-plane. It's kind of the only way to think of Sigil is its own thing, but it still counts as I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, I totally get it. I was just hoping that we could actually use that stuff.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, that was my only idea.
That's a good idea. As I look through my bag of tricks. Okay. So we could try and run across this. we could try and polymorph into something fast and try and go across it while carrying someone else.
I mean, we could dimension door.
A bit of it.
Well, at least the bridge.
Idea.
Yeah.
Would we be able to like have someone polymorph into a local large creature from this area? Not super large, but like decent sized creature that is in this area that won't be like super sus, and then hop in its mouth and then trek.
To be taken across?
Yeah.
We can't do monsters, but we could do an animal, and we could try and make it look like a devilish animal.
Mm-hmm. But one that won't catch too
something.
much attention.
A bat, maybe, but it would just be small.
Giant bee.
My only concern is the bee thing ate a dragon. So it's like, seems like the bees are top of the food chain.
I will say it was a significant number of them.
Yeah, that's what we want. Blend in.
We don't
Well,
want
it's
the
gonna
bees
be like
to
one bee
find
all
us,
by
though.
itself over in a corner.
Can
Carrying
I
somebody.
polymorph you into a bee, Hondo? Let's see.
Sure. What about the guy we just killed?
I can't. I can only do it like beasts. I don't think I can do like monsters.
I mean, you can make him look like a normal version of that from a distance.
The bees
it
would
might
eat that
work.
dog. Bees would eat that dog.
Remind me,
Bees just
Todd,
ate
the
a
bees
dragon.
though were more over in the gorge section, right?
You're not sure. Yeah, I mean they were far to the west, at least there, but you guys haven't gotten close enough to get any further information on the gorge, on what else is going on near this bridge, and
Can you riddle me this? Was the dragon? I guess it did. The dragon was making like sounds. It was sickly as it was going across, right?
It was making significant, I mean, like a screeching roar, and was
Yes.
actively like flying over the
Yeah.
gorge and canyon.
So like I have silence.
That
We
would
could-
only
we could-
like it's an area, it doesn't move, right?
I think so. Yeah. Fuck.
It's a good idea, but it doesn't move. I mean, fuck, we'd really, and it's up to you guys. How do you? I guess it's just you and Gord. How you want to use your spells? The problem is I don't see anything else traveling here, so it's hard to tell what the fuck's gonna blend in. Is anything supposed to go over this bridge? Is no one supposed to go over it? I find it weird. There's no sentries, but I could look like a fucking devil or tiefling. Some Hondo could do the same. Then there's the two of you. You could either dimension door, polymorph into something small and come along for the ride. There's no shadows for Gord to hide in, right, Kyle?
No, and he also can't. If he moves, the shadow thing stops.
Right.
So it would only be good for staying still. He can be invisible innately, though. Like he can just constantly be invisible at will.
Oh.
He has an invocation for invisibility at will.
Well, we never used that before.
Think when he's not talking, he's invisible.
I think that is.
That's how I like to think of it.
That is
And then
the
he'll just
case.
poke out from the shadows when he wants to say something, drops it, and then just goes back invisible.
Yeah, it doesn't cost him anything. So
Okay.
You think we could go the full distance of this bridge? How far is this bridge?
with
With the
hopefully
dimension door, like, is it 500 feet?
make a survival check.
Okay, all right. 11.
11. Tough to tell.
Okay.
Your kind of confidence in like gauging distance is shaken by your multiple failed attempts to get through the canyon.
I'm feeling good about it.
And basically, I think you would be concerned of like it might be right on the cusp, and if you miss it, you fucked up, and you just you can't risk that.
We have beads of force. Okay, if we were to go, if I used wings, and let's say Hondo's so stealthy. If Brawley became a giant owl, That's still 4 of you that need a way across.
I'm more concerned about flying over this thing. I think that's probably the most dangerous.
Then why don't we try and stealth across, and if things get bad, I could polymorph someone into something that flies to try and, biggest thing, don't fall over this bridge.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be flying. It could be just something that runs really fucking fast.
Well, I just mean if we start to fall, that would be bad news.
I understand. So I guess, yeah, for clarification, does this bridge look sturdy?
Without getting closer, you're not sure.
Okay.
Let's get closer.
It looks like it's still holding. You don't see any missing panels in the track. But without getting closer, you can't tell for sure.
Okay. Fuck. Okay.
Get closer.
Yeah, well, we can get a little closer. I'll make myself, I guess, look like a tiefling, because fuck it.
Okay.
Similar, just kind of clothes that are as blendy in ranger-looking clothes as possible. Is anyone else doing anything to try to not look like the people we are? Can anyone else do anything outside of invisibility? I mean, Gord can be invisible. He's taken care of. That's fine.
I have that tattoo, but I'm not attuned to it right now.
Yeah.
I'll look like a tiefling.
You're gonna use your spells? Keep them
That'll burn it first.
Remember, at the end of this day, we're gonna fight Asmodeus. So that's where we have to be really careful about.
At the end of the day, you got 2 hours.
In a couple hours,
Don't
we're
say
fighting
that.
Asmodeus.
They just gotta take me as it is then. Take me as I am.
So
okay,
sorry.
one of our polymorph options is a quasicodal, a huge pterodactyl.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've ever seen a quasicodal, but
100% done.
Sorry, I just want to ask for some clarification. Is someone going to, Mary, are you going forward to inspect and get some more information, or are you just thinking about crossing?
At this point, I don't fucking know. I was gonna try to step out a little bit and see if anything flags me, or if I see. I mean, looking for living creatures at this point.
Okay.
To start walking out and see if anything notices. Either that, or I guess we could send Gord. I'm just worried about sending him too far away from everybody else. But at least he's invisible.
You can send Gord if you like. Invisible, he's got good perceptions, good arcana. He can try and figure some shit out. I'll tell you what I would tell him based on his rolls.
We might need to do that.
Okay. Gord just breaks invisibility, nods, goes invisible again. And you watch little foot pads begin to create paths in the dirt and the ash and sand as Gord begins to step invisibly out into the kind of shelf that leads towards the bridge. The rest of you, I would like you to make stealth checks for me.
$25.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
But I have...
You have advantage on stealth checks. Don't you?
And expertise.
Well, the expertise is great. On a 1 is a 1. But if you have advantage, then it's probably fine. You likely have boots, I think, that give you advantage. And they're not attuned. It's that's a
13.
Yeah.
And 17.
I have disadvantage, but I rolled a 25 and a 23.
Oh my god, great job.
Hell yeah.
I think it was 12? 21.
12.
Or, sorry, not 12. I rolled a 12. 21.
Okay, so the 4 of you rolled well above 20s, so not too bad. Gord steps forward invisibly, and not particularly trying to be stealthy. There's nothing to stealth with here. He's just invisible, crossing open terrain, making his way towards these iron trees or iron bark-looking trees, the wiry, jagged, spike-like branches that kind of reach out like jagged fingers, around the trunk of which is tied the anchor points to the bridge in this thick wire more than it is rope. Steps forward, and Gord sees, as he gets closer, looking over the bridge down into the gorge itself. The gorge it just drops off to darkness below. But he looks down to see multiple hives built and attached within the gorge. Massive kind of inverted teardrop shaped, either built and stuck to the side, left or right of the gorge, or hung centrally in the middle and held aloft by these long tethers of like an amber chain or an amber rope or an amber something that is kind of keeping them aloft and held up at like 8-9 different points. There are also chains and cages that are the size about 6 to 7 feet tall, with cage bases and jagged spikes within which he can see humanoid forms are held aloft, dangling over the edges of the cage. There's like these mangled, infernal vultures that are gnawing and biting at the humanoid forms inside that feebly just kind of whine. And there's an ever-present droning sound that
what?
That Gord is able to keep from messing with his mind in any capacity.
Oh God. Jesus.
As he looks out across, there are multiple hives. The hives are anywhere from 90 feet to 150 feet in like full tip to top, and equally as wide at the kind of bulbous part of the inverted teardrop. And there are a handful of these 7-foot large wasps kind of clinging to the sides of the rock, and up along there, 3 or 4 up on top of the nearest hive. There are 2 hives on either side of the bridge. One of them is closer than the other. The left side is closer than the right side, but there are 2 in relative close proximity within a couple hundred feet of the bridge itself. Looking across the bridge, it seems sturdy enough as a bridge can be. He puts a foot out and kind of puts some weight on the first metal bar that kind of sits there. And immediately gets this icy cold sting, as if this metal is super chilled to the point of pain. And he withdraws his foot, not causing him any, just from the touch there, not causing any huge reaction, but he imagines it's not going to be comfortable crossing.
How long of a distance is the bridge?
I'm going to make a survival check for Gord.
Great.
He's not sure.
Okay.
With a 10.
Oh,
It's anywhere from 200 to 500 feet, maybe. In that vein. Could be larger, could be shorter. Despite having a years of experience on the water and gauging distances, just doesn't make sense in this one. This one's weird. I also roll a perception check for Gord. 24 perception. As you're all waiting, hunkered down, waiting for Gord to return, you don't see him, obviously, he's invisible. You do hear something that you can't see, but you hear it. Something kind of heavy, like thudding up high in the rock, not directly above you, but to the west, something heavy like lands on the rocks above.
Not good.
We're in a bad spot, gang.
We need a solution. I'm imagining Gord comes back and
All right, so I'm just rolling some stuff out.
great.
Give me a second.
You want me to cast a fog cloud?
No.
Gord-
Didn't you already use your fog cloud?
Gord is rolling incredible right now.
Gord is killing it.
25 stealth to evade as he returns to you near silently. You all watch as he rematerializes in front of you and says, "There's a pit fiend up there."
There. If we cast anything, it'll see us quickly.
I say we just attack it, get it a movement.
Attack a fucking pit fiend, and then the whole wasp canyon comes up and kills us.
We got no choice. They're gonna
We always have choices. We always have choices.
I want to go back in time for a second, and I want to roll either nature or arcana for Gord to see if he can gather anything from watching the wasps for a second there, to see if there's anything more to learn from them. And he has a decent nature, actually, so Kate, not crazy good. Gord relays to you, obviously, there's a pit fiend above. That's immediately a problem, but also says that the wasps, they seem to have a very protective carapace. They're obviously flying. They're 4 legs and in sword-like talons, and they have like a 3-foot long stinger that you imagine you don't want to be on the business end of. There also he relays that there was this odd buzzing drone that you could hear before, but it felt more powerful at the edge of the gorge. He's not sure what it does.
Can I see the other edge of the gorge?
You see the other side of Gord. Yeah, you can see the other side of the gorge. You're just not sure how far it is.
I can just teleport us.
Oh, that's a fucking ass.
Other option is what? Just to run. There's a fucking pit fiend standing on top of us.
Find another distraction.
I just used my coolest one. It can see through invisibility.
Did the pit fiend seem to be looking towards where Gord was?
As he comes back, Gord would say, like, it's looking for something, but doesn't know what. It just seems to be looking. Something's piqued its interest, but it doesn't have anything to go on. So it just came to the edge, and it's just looking. I'm gonna make an insight check for him. It's a 21 for Gord's insight.
Gordon.
He's rolling really well. I think he would infer that, yeah, something has caught its attention, and it's just on alert. I think he would sense that with a 21, he would sense that if it doesn't get anything, if it does nothing further piques its interest here, it'll keep looking elsewhere. So if you just lay low long enough to let it pass, and don't do anything to alert it, it's possible you could just wait it out.
How long's it been? This is a good time to ask that.
How long since the pit fiend's been here?
No, so since we started in the 9th layer, or I guess we're doing the entirety. No, I guess since we started in the 9th layer, it's been an hour and 20 since we did the last check. Then we fought those hounds.
Yeah, so it was another 15 minutes to the point where you got to the edge of the canyon. So it was an hour 35. At this stage, I'm going to say at least another 15 minutes has passed in terms of like investigating and like watching and seeing this play out. That took Gord a couple of minutes to like do his investigation. So like it's been
Hour 50.
Hour 50. You're coming up to 2 hours.
We jumped at either 2.5 or 3. It's an hour 50. So we could wait 10 minutes. Then like...
Yeah, I don't say we wait longer than that before we make a decision.
Let's wait 5 and see what happens.
Okay. The first minute passes with ease. 2 more. And you can hear the barking of infernal speech from above. This loud.
I nudge Hondo. You have that ring, right, Kev?
I think so. Let me check.
The ring of animal influence, right?
No, the tongues ring.
Yeah, what was it?
He used to be a ring of comprehend languages, and then he traded it in for tongues.
I think I might have sold the animal thing.
Yeah,
No, not that one.
Not that one.
You have like a ring of tongues now.
I think it's the ring of something comprehension.
I have no, not a spelling. Was it a spell? I definitely have something for comprehension.
You do have an item. You have a ring. I know that for sure.
No.
I wonder if you ever
Did you never add it back to your character sheet? So essentially, you had a ring of comprehend languages. You traded it in with Rabbit and Jinx. They worked on something, and then you got it back with tongues instead.
Right. I think I probably didn't add it back. Maybe. Let me add it.
It's definitely tongues, because you said, I don't just want to understand, I want to talk too. And then it was cheaper because you already had like the spell halfway there with the comprehend languages. Kyle, is this all ring a bell?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I don't see the item in Kev's stuff.
I don't know if it was ever added.
I can know it was added.
Well, Ring of Comprehend Languages was 2 charges. And that would get us to be able to understand this thing right now. So we could just say that if we wanted to. So can Kev understand what this terrible devil monster is saying?
The Ring of Linguistics?
That sounds cool.
The ring has 4 charges. It expends 1d4. While wearing the ring, you use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast the following spells. Comprehend languages is 1 charge. Speak with animals is 1. Tongues is 2.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, so do that one. If that's what you think he ended up getting.
So.
All right.
So I'll add that to your inventory there.
I love how we're in the last chunk of our entire campaign and we're still like, wait,
what do I got?
What shit do I have?
What does that do? Remember that? Yeah, 60 episodes ago?
Yeah. Okay, so you cast comprehend languages?
Wait, like, do it now?
Through the ring, yeah.
Okay. I'm just
and you can understand what it's saying.
You understand the spoken language. Yep. Okay, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything. I'd just nudge Hondo and like gesture to his ring.
Okay, Kev, make a perception check for me.
Okay. I rolled a 13.
Okay.
Plus perception being
very high. You hear the tail end of a command to search the canyon, find the elf.
Good.
We need to find the elf.
No, that's me. You found me.
3-4 more minutes pass. You're at that 5-minute mark. You're not sure if they're still there above you. You're not sure what's happening around you. You guys have taken cover, but you don't have visual. You're in the bottom of a canyon. They're at the top. What do you do?
Hondo, you're probably stealthier than Gord. You could try and sneak out and see if you spot that guy.
I'll give it a go.
All right. Go ahead and make a stealth check with disadvantage for me. So just straight roll.
Ooh.
So
First
it's not
roll
gonna
is
be
4,
okay.
No, so that's it. It's just that.
but I have
You take 10.
expertise.
You have
Yeah.
a minimum roll.
10. Minimum 10.
So
And second,
what's
So
your?
No, you're not rolling again.
It's just the one roll.
It's just a straight roll.
What's your stealth then? What's the total?
17 and 10, 27.
So 27. Okay. So
Jesus Christ.
I can only get that with a nat 20 with this guy. But we'll see. On a nat 20, he could spot you. Otherwise, you move quickly enough and stealthily enough, even in the open, to just do this quickly enough to evade sight.
Just Hondo
Picking-
running, like jumping. Huh! No, okay.
Yeah.
Go back.
Not a nat 20. You just kind of sprint out just ever so slightly to the point where like you're thinking of like the visual perspective of how far he'd have to look to get down, how far you'd have to look to get up, and you just get to the fringe where you can see the edge of the leather wings facing away now, kind of looking back towards the canyon, and kind of looking about a little bit, but doesn't seem to have a bead on you guys, but is still there currently. What do you do?
We need to make a decision. We need to get moving. We can't wait forever. We can be really fucking quiet. We could probably make it to the bridge. I just don't know how fast we can get across it.
Make a dash, go as fast as we can.
I think making too much noise is also going to be problematic.
We dash, the pit fiend comes after us. Gord said the bee noise almost made him, I don't know, do something bad. Maybe go crazy, maybe scream. Maybe that's what made the dragons scream in pain. Heard the bee noise.
Well, how big is your quiet bubble?
It's like 20 feet.
20-foot radius or
check.
20-foot diameter?
I think it's radius. Let me just check. Level 2, silence. I can cast 120 feet, 20-foot radius.
I was thinking to put it like on the bridge so that like we can't hear the bees. But
I could put it at the start.
In a pinch, you could get a section for sure. So you can get 40 feet at a time with each cast, but it is a minimum 200 across, possibly more.
I could put it at the start, and I could just fly across, like right next to it. You guys could go.
I'm very wary of you flying. Those bees seem to.
I could just fly like above the ground because it's faster than I actually walk.
Kyle, you didn't happen. We were trying to debate what I have in my gem. It's not a dimension door, right? Because
It's not a dimension door for sure.
Scott, you didn't have enough fourths the night before. You didn't have any fourths left, but you stayed up to put something in it, and I'm trying to remember what it was. And
Third level cure wound.
Third level cure wounds. Okay, thank you.
I wrote it down.
I'm going to write it down on mine too.
Okay. What's the plan?
Oh no, you have your. God, do I dare even say it? You have your Afriti bottle. I think you're saving it for maybe the devil himself, but you have that.
I was going to say I have non-detection. I can make someone undetectable.
What is that?
You guys are all actually under the effects of non-detection as a part of the divine rune of protection. That would stop against divinations against you, but not just straight up seeing you.
Gotcha.
So nobody can scry on you. Nobody can see you through arcane eye or clairvoyance, but physically you're still visible.
What if we create a diversion?
Yeah. What? Like what though?
Okay.
We create a rock slide somewhere. We blow something up, cause a disturbance far away.
Right, but how do we do that? I don't have any explosive arrows left. You're out of dynamite. I'm not opposed to the idea. I think doing that could be good, but it has to be something within our vision. Something we can see in effect.
I beat a force a pit fiend. It's Dex 15. Ugh, probably not.
I have mage hand. I can topple some rocks out.
You
We're
want
like 30 feet away
tickle-
from you. Though.
tickle his back?
I mean, the problem with beat of force is like you can only throw it like 30 feet or something, right?
I could transform Hondo into a quasicodal. It can fly 80 feet. It's huge. Literal size huge. How many people could a huge hold, Kyle?
It would be
It's
about
gonna
the
draw
weight.
so much attention.
It would be about the weight.
Oh,
limit,
yeah.
but it is going to draw attention. Obviously, it's a huge.
Of
creature.
course.
You just saw
We'll be
a
quick. We
large
just gotta-
dragon.
We
get
we
fucking
can't. No,
ripped
no, no.
apart.
But it's not like we get to the other side of the thing and suddenly the pit
Exactly.
fiend's imaginally not there anymore. Like
Yeah,
because
we did
that's-
it.
It's still
We
gonna
can
exist.
save our level.
It's still gonna exist because like, and then it can report that it saw something fucking weird.
Its strength is only 15, so it's actually not particularly strong. Despite
It's dexterity
its
that
size.
was the.
Well, no, it's how much you can carry while flying,
Oh, the
and its
Oh.
dex is worse. Is 13.
Why is it so fast? Jesus.
So it can fly just because it's got huge wings, but they're
Yeah.
leathery, thin wings. So you can only, I would say, you'd only be able to carry
This makes sense. This makes sense.
one or two people, depending on who it is, without sacrificing flight. So you could carry more, but you sacrifice speed.
Hondo, can't you move super quick now because of Whisper? What's this thing about Whisper?
Whisper.
He can
So
just
you have this
teleport
feat.
with it.
You have this
Your
feat
boom.
thing that makes you go fast. Now your boon.
I have the boots too.
Well,
Tell me about this boon.
Your speed is now increased by an additional 10 feet. So you've got 40 base speed with your, basically with mobile.
Which means that you can get
120 feet if you action and bonus action dash. You can get 120 feet and around.
Board has feeling agility. He doubles his speed, so he would go
60.
so 120 if he did action dash as well.
If that is feeling agility, you can double your speed until the end of your turn. Once you use the trait, you can. It would be an additional like one round. He can move an additional 30, so you could get 90.
I can get
Okay.
90 as well. Base speed.
And my flight speed
But
is
he can only do that once if he's running.
yeah. At least we could just burst out of there.
Honestly, the put a pit fiend in a bubble plan.
But wasn't he just talking? He was just talking to people.
He gave a
Was he
command.
talking or calling out like things were far away from him?
No, he gave a command, seemingly to something close. You just don't have visual to know. But he seemed to give a command to like search the canyon, find
Right.
the elf.
So in theory, the things he commanded have now gone to do that.
Yeah, presumably.
You think this guy's losing a DC 15 bubble save?
I don't know. I don't know. We'd have to be fucking lucky, but if he does, we could fucking yeet him into the bees and let them take care of it.
Eat him into the bees is such a great fucking phrase. I can fly 60 feet and go, so I could go.
Yeah, but if it doesn't
120
work, we're
around.
fucked. Like, there's that's the problem. Okay, so you can go 120 feet in a round.
Yeah.
Allie is our slowpoke here, admittedly.
Al's the slowpoke. But what if I transformed her into like a fucking panther or something really quick?
So wait, is our plan just fucking book it? Because I think that the problem there is we're not going to be able to do that quietly.
I don't really see a way to get out not detected. We either get out from the pit fiend, we keep waiting. Like we gotta hustle.
I
We
know
gotta
we can't.
get to the devil to go kill him. We gotta get to this bridge. We gotta get across it before the bees attack us. We could try and shoot. Oh, you know what we could try? we could fuck, would this attract attention or would it make him go away? We could try and like attack the chains that hold up one of Kyle, did Gord describe it like copper chains hold up some of these nests?
Yeah, one of the specific the close on the left hive was being, rather than being like anchored to the wall, like built on the side of the wall, left or right. There were like 8 or 9 amber, ropes or wire, however it looked. That's the best way to describe it. But like amber wire was taut, holding at 8 or 9 points, holding one of these hives aloft, the closest one on the left.
So it wouldn't be saying if you just cut one of them, it would fall. You'd have to cut a bunch of these wires.
You'd at least have to cut probably 4 on one side. You could probably cut like 2 or 3 and it would list, but to like drop it, you'd probably need to at least hit 4 like support ones. Which would be doable. You're just not sure how tough these things are.
Tough they are. Yeah.
Well, and the only thing that's really going to work without getting right up on it is Eldritch Blast. Of course. Like, arrows aren't going to do shit.
You're not sure.
So that causes a huge distraction of bees. That would make the bees real pissed.
That's not bad, but how far away are they from the...
The one on the left that is being, like, hung up is, like, between 100 feet-ish from the bridge.
What if we were able to silence the spot over where the things are? I don't know if it's big enough, so that nothing hears the impacts. And then suddenly there's just a bunch of fucking angry bees. If we stay hidden and the pit fiend's still something visible, maybe it goes for him.
I'm gonna say another 5 minutes has passed at this point, just as we're like, going through time.
We're at 2 hours then?
2 hours even now has passed. You hear another command as like there's like Honda with like your low passive perception being able to understand. You can hear like some talking back and forth, but it's a little muffled. It's not like loud, so you can't quite make out exactly what it says. But given like that you understand the language is being translated to you, you gather that they've been unsuccessful thus far, and the pit fiend gets fucking really angry, roars, demotes this creature that's in front of him, and you hear like a crunching sound. All of you hear the crunching and the roar, and then you watch the pit fiend fly up over the gorge, and it's like flying across the gorge.
Yep.
And like drops a crushed body on the edge of the gorge as it flies across.
If we're gonna do that, we need to do it right now.
Notably, the bees don't react to the pit fiend
at all.
Doesn't seem to be any. Make a perception check for me.
Like, is it that they don't notice him, or
maybe they're friends? He's their boss.
24.
You notice they begin to kind of climb to the surface. You hear that droning sound begin to pick up, but as he flies over, not particularly high, not like right along the bridge, but like just flying across. You watch as some of them begin to kind of fly up and get turned right back around by something. Like, you don't see him cast a spell, you don't see him do anything actively, just like the presence, and whether that means like they understand the hierarchy, that he is like he's a respected fiend, like he's a station much higher than them, or if there's something else going on, that like they have an innate something going on, but they like come and then they settle back down, and he flies across towards the tower, towards Malashim, but not directly, just like over in that direction beyond the horizon. As you're also watching the body that he left, you see one of these soldiers of hell. It's kind of purplish skinned. It's got this beard of like jagged like blades, kind of hangs off, and its head is completely crushed. You can see blood and viscera and brain spilled out on the ground where it's been like a hand crushed its head. And you watch as 3 bees, and they begin ripping it apart and like carrying it back with them. Easily, you can see their blade-like arm, legs, whatever they would be, carved through the flesh with ease. And you see them jab it with the pincer or the stinger, but obviously it's dead. They don't seem particularly intelligent, given that they're trying to stab and kill this thing that's clearly dead. You can make a nature or arcana check to see if you can gather anything more about them, given a little bit of a better view. But otherwise, yeah.
Do it. Tell me about you bees.
I rolled that.
26.
26. Okay, after watching them react to the pit fiend, but take out that dragon thing, whatever it was, so efficiently and deadly. Obviously, they're more deadly in a swarm. One-on-one, not such a huge problem. You certainly don't want to get on the business side of the stinger. And you can see after they jab it in, you can see like a dripping of venom or a poison of some capacity. There's certainly some element to that. The buzzing sound that Gord communicated, you imagine is likely some kind of... I mean, it's obviously a mind fuckery trying to either, you're not sure the effect of it, but you know it's going to try and either make you stop moving or make you come towards them or make you like fucking leap off the bridge. You know, it's something to that effect. It's going to try and drive you crazy, given the sound. Stinger is likely poisonous and seems to carry potentially like a paralytic idea, is what you would imagine them trying to feed off of their kill. You gather that they are most powerful in a swarm, and that they, after observing them, they're more attracted to sound and shifts in the wind rather than visual stimuli. They didn't seem to notice the dead thing until it hit the ground, and then it was like, ooh, something's happening. They didn't do anything about the pit fiend on this side when he was standing there, but the second he comes across the bridge, they whoop, and then they stop for whatever reason there that you don't fully understand. Their visual range is not super powerful. They're still perceptive in a way, but not particularly powerful. Drawn to sound more than visual stimuli. And with a 26, as you're watching them kind of like tear apart the body on the ground, it's imperfect how they're going about it. Where they stab and jab with the stinger isn't the clean cuts that you would expect from something with like a blade. It seems kind of haphazard and just kind of wild. And you gather quickly that given their poor eyesight, up close, if you remain still as the dead, they can't really see you.
So flight is not going to work because seems like from what you said.
Let's stealth our way across now. I can guess silence on that part of the bridge.
Okay. Pit Fiend's still facing the other direction, flying away?
Yeah, he flies, 120 feet around, so...
Okay.
He's moving his way across the bridge. You watch, it takes like 2 or 3 minutes for the beast to like tear apart and return with the husk of the fallen devil.
Kyle, does Gord have any... Gord doesn't have Pass Without a Trace anymore. He doesn't have any like silency spells or anything.
Nothing that I'm seeing. Obviously, he's got invisibility for himself. He can levitate himself.
He's got freedom of movement, Eldritch Invocation.
Yeah,
Touch a willing creature for the duration, unaffected by
maybe
difficult
paralyzed,
terrain.
restrained.
Does levitate, Kyle, remind me, is that only up and down? I never remember this spell.
You can only move up and down, but you can be basically pulled like a balloon.
So in theory, Gord could levitate just above the bridge so that he doesn't touch it and get zapped, and someone could pull him along.
Sure.
Pretty adorable image. It's like a little hot air balloon.
No other spells of silence. Shadow of Moil makes him heavily obscured, but doesn't affect sound. Yeah, that would be it.
You should use freedom of movement on one of the fighters before this thing goes down. That'd be sick. Okay, let's write that down for later. Okay, let's start making our way across.
He can only cast
Like
freedom of movement on himself.
He can only cast it on himself?
Yeah, as part of the invocation, it's you can cast it
Okay.
on yourself. Still not a bad idea, but it's only on himself. It's a good prep spell for non-concentration purposes.
Yeah. Start going towards it. We gotta be so stealth. I'll use silence on the top part of the bridge. So stealth, so quiet.
Okay. You guys are openly headed towards the bridge.
Yeah.
This is our only option.
Gord is going to go invisible again.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
Can I make, if I make Brawly invisible, does that give her, would that cancel out her stealth
Straight
problem?
roll. Yeah.
I'm gonna make you invisible, Brawly. Can't risk it.
Is invisibility and silence both concentration?
Fuck, you're right.
Invisibility
it.
definitely is. Silence, I don't know off the top of my head.
Silence is con, yeah. Or do you have anything?
Nothing.
I thought you had greater for some reason, but maybe not.
It's not right
Is
I
now.
it
used to have greater, but not anymore.
That's also concentration.
Yeah.
It just means you can cast other spells without breaking
Oh,
it,
for some reason I thought it wasn't concentration.
but not other concentration spells. No, that'd be crazy broken.
That's kind of, yeah, that's true.
Unconcentration, 1 hour invisibility.
Yeah, you're right. That makes no sense.
And you can do other shit. It's great. Okay, so what is your marching order crossing the Bridge of the Damned?
Fucking hate this.
I think
This is the
Val
worst thing
needs-
you've done to us.
Val needs to be earlier in case you need to drop silence again. I think we need to
Okay.
pair up in case someone gets hit by the droning and someone doesn't. So someone else can grab them.
Gord will stay in the back.
Yep.
Why isn't it me and Brawly, Mary middle to try and catch one of us, and Gord Hondo at the back? Like the 5 on a dice.
Val, Allie, Mary, Hondo, Gord.
Or Mary, do you want to switch with me so I'm in the middle? Because I'm the weak link.
I'm thinking more you need to be closer to the front in case you need to cast
Oh,
something
sorry.
forward.
Did you want Allie ahead of you, Val?
I don't want her ahead of me. I think I'll take the lead.
Okay.
I was thinking a side by side.
It's a
skinny
single
bridge.
file.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll go first. Fuck it.
Single file, baby. Like it'd
I
be
have
like-
wings. I have wings, so
It would be like 6 to 7 feet that, like, realistically
you probably
could-
don't want someone next to you though.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So, in terms of like game mechanic, we're going to go single file. Okay. Openly walking, Gord's invisible. You guys begin to just make your way across this kind of expanse of shelf of rock and ash towards the bridge. As you get closer and closer, those iron bark trees just kind of reach out with jagged teeth, and you can see now that you're close. On them, you see bits of flesh, like creatures were once stuck to them, held in place as punishment, offering, or maybe sentinel at some point. But for now, at least, they are bare. But as you get closer, within 30, 20, 10 feet of the edge of the bridge, that buzzing and droning just rises in volume. The decibels pick up. You can feel it kind of vibrating in your ears. You can feel it vibrating in the base of your chest. Silence falls across right at the edge of the bridge out 40 feet, given the 20-foot radius. 40 feet of this bridge are now in silence. You can't see it. Val, you have a vague understanding of the arcana now covering it. And as Val takes the first step in, Allie, Mary, Hondo, and Gord following, immediately deafened silence. However, I still need everyone to make stealth checks. All of you can make them with advantage while within silence.
Great. That's really good. Can I do better than that? No.
Got 20.
Nice. With advantage, Hondo. Come on. What are you doing out here? I had a nat 1 for the listener.
18 for Gord with advantage. Not crazy. It was a 9 and a 3.
25.
I rolled a 7, but I think I get an automatic 10.
Yeah, you are. You're basically a minimum 27, I think.
It's nuts.
You're a 19th level rogue or 18th level rogue. Like, it's crazy. Allie rolled natural 20. Valentine and Mary, sorry?
What did I say? I think mine was 27. I rolled a 17 plus 10.
Okay.
25.
25. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys begin to take the first, 10, 20, 30, up to 40 feet. We'll put Valentine right at the 40-foot mark where silence is going to drop. Like, you can, I like to think of, with your spells, even though it's in an invisible barrier, you can see a faint aura over where
That, like,
you cast
opaque
it.
kind of, yeah, totally.
Just
Oil
like that.
spill.
Yeah, that only you can see, and maybe others with like detect magic up would see the same. So you see where the barrier is, like almost exactly. You guys watch as you're making your way slowly, as you're being stealthy, you're step by step. Each of you over 40-foot walk, over the accumulated 40-foot walk.
Like
You
this
each
is too many
suffer.
dice.
I was using the wrong die, is all it was. So I rolled 1. I was like, that seems like too much. Oh yeah, because I changed how much it should be. You each take 4 points of cold damage as you're walking across. Literally, like with each step, you can feel it, like you're trying to hold onto a bar in the midst, like a metal bar in the middle of a blizzard, and it's just slowly encrusting and growing colder and colder. You take a break and you come back, you take a break with it and come back with each step, but that bitterness does burn in. Gord has to concentrate. He manages to hold, and Val, you are concentrating as well. You just got to hit a DC 10.
Kev, you only take 2 points of that.
Yeah, I did it.
4. Okay.
You're at the 40-foot mark. With your passive perceptions, you don't need to make an active perception unless you wish to actively look for something. You can see that there are about 15 of these wasps on the left and right most closest hives and the accumulated like kind of rock that are nearby. The closest one to you, you watch its kind of little antennas flick and then nothing. They don't seem to be drawn to you under this silence, and visually you've done nothing but move as quietly and stealthily as you can. They don't seem to have caught anything as of yet. The closest one, on the approach, you watched it kind of, and it kind of just hovered up close within like 30-40 feet, which is the closest one. And it's just kind of like it's kind of holding on very gingerly to one of those amber ropes that comes close to the leftmost iron tree, but it's within 30-40 feet. You can kind of see it like trying to suss out something about you, but it's not getting active. Val, you're at the 40-foot point. Are you doing anything?
I'll just look at Mary. I will have thought about casting Eldritch Blast, but I can't. So I'll just look at Mary behind me, and I'll just like mime a bow and just like point it out towards like the rock wall, like somewhere away from us, and then like shrug at her.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. What is what's my far distance? So it doesn't actually need to hit anything. It just needs
No,
to
just hit the wall and make a noise.
just needs to fall in the gorge, honestly. The far range is 600 feet.
Mhm.
If I arc just a regular ass arrow 600 feet, even like more behind us and not in the direction we're going, left.
There's not really a
completely
behind. It's like the
Yes, I know, but sorry, if I'm saying if I'm picking a rock wall, I'm picking the one that's on the where we're coming from, not where we're going.
Okay.
But like off to the left as far as possible. Can I arc a shot?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Are there a bunch of those trees, Kyle, or is there just the two at the base of the bridge?
Seems to be just be the two at the base of either side of this bridge, almost as like the pillars that would be like holding it steady, and that's where the rope is tied off. Mary, you can go ahead and make an attack with your bow at disadvantage.
Okay. Actually, they're both fairly mid. So that is a 21.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you draw, and in the silence, there's no sound of the twang of your bow. There's no sound of that flight until it breaks the bubble of silence. And you guys don't even hear it, as
True.
it's 500 feet from you. But
We're also in silence.
you watch a dozen of bees of wasps at the further hive. That's further to the left, mostly where they came out to like go and get that dragon. You watch a dozen of them just begin to kind of go and investigate, hover around, and begin to kind of just like buzz around, but you can't hear anything.
None of the
I'll-
rest
They were drawn
near us react.
not the closest ones, no.
I will edge out of the silence bubble now. I'll still keep it up, but while I'm edging out, I'll start making my way through.
Okay, is everyone following suit, just continuing down across the bridge?
Quiet as possible.
Okay. We're going to just go in 30-foot increments, as that's your speed, to see if there's anything that changes as we go along. So as you break silence, I would like everyone to make another stealth check, just a straight roll, unless you have other ways of gaining advantage or whatever. Gord still has advantage. 15, man.
That was with advantage? Come on, Gordon.
4 and 6.
I got 23.
Okay.
Oh, no?
15
Sick.
and 15. Or 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alana Brawley Browen.
I got 13.
Okay.
13 and 15. Mary.
29.
So for another 30 feet, you each take a point of cold damage.
Okay.
So it means 0 for me.
It's still 1. The minimum is 1. You still take 1. Con save for you, Val, just to maintain your silence. And Gord maintains his invisibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta hit a DC 10, so. But you get an additional 30. And you feel that cold biting into you, which is really frustrating. And at a certain point, Allie and Gord almost simultaneously, where you step on the bridge, there's this like odd like screeching squeal, like two pieces of metal like grinding together, like this like, terrible grinding sound, and it's like the piece of metal that you're on is bending and breaking under your weight, and then it just snaps and like shatters under the weight with like the intensity of hyper cooled metal under pressure, and just you watch the nearest dozen plus wasps begin to hover up, and that droning sound that you begin to hear again as you exited the silence begins to just rattle your minds. These bees, these wasps that were drawn to the sound, begin to fly towards the bridge, straight at you. What do you do?
You said there's more nests on the other side too, right, of the bridge that we can see?
There's a large nest on the right, but it's a little further away. It's connected to the opposite wall. It would be the wall you're headed towards. There's the closest nest is the one on the left, which is one where these wasps are coming from. It's about, anywhere from about 100 feet away from the bridge to this actual nest. And it's kind of right in the middle. It's equidistant from either side, held by those ropes and tethers. And then there's another one that's anchored to the left wall, that is the closest wall where you started, that is closer to that 500-foot range.
I think I'll just cast silence again on all of us.
Okay. I was gonna say, what if we disguise ourselves as the bridge?
How do you
Go on. Yeah, go
interesting idea. Logistics.
You lie down and then you cast disguise self. So you just blend in
as a bridge.
As Hondo's beginning to plank from
you
the
need to
early
read
2000s.
the disguise self spell. In
I will
that the
cast
same way it can't
silence.
turn you into a giant dragon, it can't turn you into an inanimate object. It's an interesting thought. But the other
As
thing
Hondo
is,
says,
remember,
I'll turn into the bridge, I'll cast
Yeah.
silence. Very confused. What?
these guys also remember, Kev, they're not.
Fantastic.
They're basically blind, so it's mostly just the sound that
In the absence of the sound immediately, the droning fades, and you guys don't have to worry about the potential risk of that droning.
Whatever that is.
You've only been about 70 feet into this. You're maybe an eighth of the way.
Oh, fuck. I thought we'd be like half.
No, you're not at half. You're like a quarter to an eighth, maybe a sixth.
Ugh.
You guys got a
God.
lot of trekking to go. But the silence just encompasses you all and gets you that little extra breathing room with silence. And the bees that were, like a dozen of them, were on their way towards, not in an immediate aggressive action, but they were flying with intent. Now suddenly, falter for a second. To hold as still as you can, I would like each of you to make Constitution checks.
You got it.
D20 plus just your straight Constitution modifier. If you can beat the DC of their investigation, they will
Love it.
treat you as inanimate objects. Otherwise, you may pique
Bad
their
news.
interest.
22?
Their investigation is only a 12.
Okay.
Thank God I rolled a 16.
Nice.
This is just plus our con, right?
Straight
This is
Constitution.
con. Yeah. Con save.
Nope.
5. Oh, save.
Fun check.
Check.
Oh, okay. Let me check then. Hold up.
And 3, 8.
8.
Oof, I did roll a 16 still. Sorry, I rolled a 12, but I had 4, so 16. Uh-oh. Go
Cord rolls an
on.
11. Hondo rolls an 8.
Oh, fuck me.
The three of you who succeed, you just freeze statuesque. The silence is aiding, but it's literally like, are you moving? Are you breathing? Like, how can you hold this position? Their blind sight and their ability to detect movement surpasses Gord's invisibility, as it doesn't seem to matter about the invisible nature of the movement, as they can sense like the full aura and shifting of movement even past an invisible state. Let's see. Around you, Hondo, 3 of these wasps begin to kind of get real close. 2 of them seem to get around Gord, and they begin to like kind of creep over and perch and like are kind of poking and gently just kind of like insectoid, just kind of inspecting. You are both going to suffer. You suffer 5 points of piercing damage as they're like blade-like talons just gently kind of poke and prod, and it's like all these little needle points and just little daggers pressed into your skin, just seeing what are you. You also suffer 4 additional points of fire damage as oh no, sorry, that's the stinger, not the talent. But you deal an additional point. You know, it's fine. That's fine. They poke and prod, and I'm going to ask for a secondary Constitution check from you and from Gord. The DC has risen as they are inspecting. Gord rolls a 17.
You got it there, Hondo. Come on now.
11.
Plus
Constitution.
3.
So 14.
No.
My head, I had set the DC to 15 as starting at a 12, and it began to rise. The 3 around you, Hondo, begin to latch and bear down, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, fuck.
no.
Here we fucking go, kids. Hey.
They actually rolled great.
Well, good for them. I rolled like trash.
Who has advantage? Is it Hondo or Brawley?
Brawley.
On initiative?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Never mind, it's not you. It's Brawley.
8.
Yeah, I got 20.
This adds an unreasonable amount to initiative.
25 to 20.
20.
21?
Just 20.
Oh. 20 to 15.
18.
Nice, Brawl.
What's your dexterity?
Plus 1. 12.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Hondo.
I rolled a 1, so
Ugh, Kevin.
You are not enjoying these bees right now, buddy.
What's your total, though?
12.
12? You still beat Gord.
You rolled a 1 and you rolled better than me.
What did you get, Mary?
I got an 8. I rolled a 2.
You're at the bottom.
Sucks, man.
Okay. Val, you're the first to kick this off. You watch the wasps silently now in the silence. 3 of them who are kind of poking and prodding Hondo, and you're looking back and you see Hondo and Gord at the back of the pack are now they've got 5, 6 of these wasps that are actively like on top of them. They're not attacking, but they're poking and prodding. And then suddenly you watch Hondo kind of shift, and their immediate kind of like their vibe shifts, and you watch those stingers begin to rise to jab. But you have been watching, waiting still. You have an action, you have a turn. What do you do? You're in silence.
I know. So I can't cast spells in silence.
You got a sword.
I know.
Well, you are also at the front. It would be Valentine, Allie, Mary, Hondo.
How many bees are around us, do you think, right now?
There's 6 immediately around Hondo and Gord, kind of surrounding
Okay.
on all sides. And then there are an additional 8 or 9 that are in the area within like 100 feet of you that are kind of like loosely investigating, but haven't been drawn in yet, thanks to your silence. Honestly, your silence is saving a lot of immediate dive bombing by dozens of bees.
Yeah, that's not good.
But looking across, now that you're in the canyon, looking across, you've traveled 70, 80-ish feet. You've got another 200 to go at least.
Feet? Jesus, let me write that down.
So you gauge like 300 to 400 total feet, but like, yeah.
Can I try and, could I try and get to Hondo to try and sword one of these wasps off?
Yeah, you would be half movement back past Allie and Brawley, and in the case of anything that pushes you guys over the edge, should that happen, anyone who is side by side is at disadvantage.
The 20-foot
to hold.
It's a 20-foot radius, right? So it's like a sphere. So could I fly into that to try and get out of the way to just batter these guys?
Yeah, you can fly. That's right. You don't have to be like walking on the bridge. You could fly outside and like flank with Hondo against one of these bees.
Yeah, I'll do that. So fly out and I'm going to attack with Heartbreaker. Let's do this.
The second your wings like flare out and you begin to like aggressive and Heartbreaker kicks on with like, it doesn't make any sound in the silence, but as it kicks on with activity, the other like outside bees begin to rear up and see activity.
They can still see that. That's right.
Yeah, they've now been like drawn in by like interest. Now there's full action. Now they're coming.
Fuck.
But they're further away.
Yeah, okay. I'm still going to do it. I already said I was doing it. 19 on the dice. So let's roll this. So it's 12 total and it's radiant, if that helps.
Makes no difference, but still good to know. On the first one, you got it.
And I only get 1 attack per turn.
You strike hard into it and you watch it carve through the kind of back of it and you carve a section of its wing off. Pardon me. It seems hurt, but not mortally so.
Okay.
But what I will say is you see it kind of shift and now see it's like in a bad position, and you see that there is an intelligence of like of a wounded creature. Like, I don't want to die. I will like get away from you before I die.
Cool.
But they do still seem a little bit more resilient than one shot.
Okay, that's good to know. That's all I can do.
Action, no bonus?
No bonuses just yet.
Okay, then the wasps take their action next. Given that they act early and that there's now activity on 3 of the 5 of you, the full scope of wasps comes in. There were 6 locally. There was 15 total that were drawn. So an additional 9 outside. They're going to dash in on this round. And I'll say that essentially on both, on mostly the left side, but kind of encompassing all your group right now, you would hear the buzzing of about 14, 15 of these wasps that are now like all encompassing. And but it takes 9 of their turns just to do that. 6 of them get their action now to attack Hondo, Gord, and Valentine. So they will do that. The one Valentine attacked is going to just turn back to him and is going to attempt to use its stinger on you.
This fucking guy.
That's going to be a 17 to hit.
Miss? Ouch.
Parry that. The 2 that were actively kind of like poking and prodding you, Hondo, are going to use their sword talents and just slash. That's a 21.
That will hit.
And a 20.
Oh wait, sorry. What am I'm reading wrong? That both doesn't hit. No.
The
AC 22.
As you kind of break the moment of like, I don't want to stand still anymore, and now I can see activity happening, you begin to immediately kind of push off, swords drawn, and start parrying and blocking and dodging, and like foregoing the activity of dodging, and dodge those two sword talons. There are 3 around Gord. One of them is going to pivot to now Valentine as well, as you're kind of like flying, so it's going to pivot out, and it's going to throw a sword talon towards Valentine. That's a 21 to hit Val.
Yeah, AC 21.
That's going to be 10 points of piercing damage as it just
10? Oh, jeez.
jabs into you, and then a sting and a sword talon against Gord. A miss with the stinger for sure. But a definite hit with the talons for Gord to take 8 points of piercing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Val, I need con save for silence. And Gord needs con save for invisibility, which he passes.
I got 22.
As do you. That is the end of this first round of the wasps. 6 of them attack. 9 of them fly in. You can imagine attacks of opportunity to run past them are going to swing, but at this stage, movement is key. We come to Brawley. Oh, did she just leave?
Brawley's BRBing.
I think we can safely say she attacks.
She attacks. She does what she does.
So if she's not back, you know what? We can just hold her action until
She'll do some attacking.
She will
Get
attack. We'll jump to Hondo first. Hondo,
Do you want to attack these guys? What do you want to do?
You got bees on all sides. 6 in easy, like melee access. You've got advantage on the ones that Valentine is flanking with.
Let me. I just want to check quickly. Yeah, I wonder if I could. Okay, no. Can't. Can I? Yeah, I can. I want to try.
I'm going to point out
Gust
too, part of your new. Ooh, that's a good idea. 2 things. 1, part of your new boon is that as long as you make a melee attack in your round, you don't take any opportunity attacks. So you can run away from someone that you make an attack against, and you don't take any opportunity attacks. So that could be very useful here. 2, you're under a bubble of silence, so anything that has a verbal component for spells, you cannot use. You can move to get out of silence and then try it, but you have to be out of the silence bubble to cast anything. And as of your position, you could move back. Basically 10 to 15 feet, and you'd be out of it, or you could move forward about 20 to 30 feet, and you'd be out of it.
Okay, so gust of wind is a verbal then, right?
I imagine it has a verbal component. I don't know
It
for
says,
sure,
yeah.
but I would imagine.
Okay, then I'll just use my longsword to parry them away.
Okay.
Instead of the legendary dagger that does a shit ton of extra damage.
He'll
I
still
figure
do
the long length might be better.
He's still going to do sneak attack damage, so
That's fair.
go ahead and make your attacks. At least your first attack against the one flanking with Valentine will give you advantage.
So my first roll is a 4.
With advantage, though. Roll again.
Advantage.
Second roll is a 2.
Woof.
Okay, so 4 plus 1.
And 10.
A 14's not
14?
going to hit. Not going to hit, unfortunately.
You'd use your bonus. Bonus hit with Whisper.
Sure. Let's do it.
Go ahead. As you're offhand, you bring Whisper around for an attack. You still have advantage because you're flanking.
Okay, so first roll 7, second roll 8.
Oof.
Oh my
8 plus
God.
14 is.
I still think you hit with the bonuses of Whisper, yes. But they are hard
Whisper
to
is
hit.
slightly jilted.
You go ahead and roll with sneak attack and all your damage for Whisper. This will be the one that Valentine first attacked, so it's the most injured one.
We might have to get out of here, gang. Like,
And
9 just showed up, 6 are already attacking us. We might just have to run.
Yeah, I think we have to like bamf out of here.
do I get the was it the 2d4 as well?
Yeah.
Yep, so 3d4s and all of your d6s for your sneak attack.
So total 34 plus 8.
Yeah,
Nice.
with that Hondo, it manages to kind of catch your blade in its own blade-like talons, and then you just get Whisper right up in its guts, and you watch it just split, and it's silent. It makes no sound. But you can see it kind of writhing and twitching as it falls. Its wings crunch up, and it falls off the side of the bridge. All of you feel the shift and shake of the bridge as Hondo is like actively like moving and fighting, and this wasp like slams into the bridge and then falls off, and all of you kind of feel that shake. And also now there's that worry in your heads, not just the bees but the actual bridge itself.
I just
100.
look at that bee and you're dying, man. Look dignified.
He does not. Are you moving or staying?
You could run now and not provoke attack of opportunities, which is
Hold
cool.
on. I'm gonna move forward.
Sick.
Okay. You move ahead of everybody. It takes a little bit of move to get past everybody, so you don't get your full on the other side, like your full 30 feet, but you're now ahead of the group, and you would be outside of silence on the other side. That'll bring us back to Brawley.
Okay.
As a reminder, there are 6 actively in combat. You would be pretty close, just on the other side of Mary, to like 6 of them actively fighting. You can see 9 of them have rushed in and are kind of all surrounding, but they haven't actively fought yet. So that you are on all sides. You can see these creatures.
The ones that are directly attacking me, can I like almost like do like a spin attack and hit them?
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make your 2 attacks, and if absolutely, if you get a crit on either of these attacks, it's gonna blast like 3 or 4 of them at once.
Oof. Okay. 26 to hit.
26 definitely hits.
Okay. 18 damage.
Okay. Second attack.
Okay. 16 to hit.
16 does not hit, unfortunately.
Okay.
As you swing heavy into one and you knock it into another, and you see one of its legs, you snap and break in your first hammer strike. You come around to like clobber the other side and try and like swing past 3, and they definitely kind of buzz and shift out of place. Though you notice they stay close enough to maintain focus on you, and you're now watching like stingers begin to kind of emerge. You can see the just the drips and drops of these little poisonous tips of their stingers as they are preparing for a feast. But that is your 2 attacks. Anything for a bonus action and movement?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you're going to stay put?
Are you gonna stay, or are we starting to move?
Are we moving?
Hondo has passed you. Valentine has fallen back, but Hondo's now like ahead of the pack by about 15 feet.
I think we gotta get out. I think we gotta leave.
So I'll just I'll shout out like, okay guys, let's go. And then I'll start heading towards where Hondo is.
Nobody can hear you in the silence, unfortunately. You mouth it, and everyone, I'm sure, understands, but then you begin to rush.
Exaggerated charades.
Yeah.
Very.
Exactly. And you use your full 30. With that, you are going to provoke a couple of opportunity attacks.
That's okay.
3 attacks coming your way.
Okay.
They'll all be with the sword talons. It's going to be a 16. And
Misses.
An 18.
Misses.
And a 14.
Misses.
Hell yeah.
Just, armor up, hammer up to deflect, and then just like batting them away with like fly swatter, like just like get the fuck out of here as you rush past. No problems. We come to Gord's turn. Gord is in the silence, which is not great for the casters.
For our main caster.
But he's at the back, so he actually could step backwards by... He could step backwards by like 10 feet, 15 feet, and be out of it for sure. But he would risk a bunch of opportunity attacks. But he can't really cast anything else, because it all requires verbal.
I mean, he could just start moving.
He's going to have to move no matter which way he goes, but he's going to risk two or three opportunity attacks too, because they turned the other side to Hondo. So he's going to step backwards to cast and take the 2 opportunity attacks. One's going to miss, but one's definitely going to hit. That's 12 points of slashing damage. Natural 20 on the con save. Maintains his invisibility for what it's worth. Okay, so Gord takes the 2 opportunity attacks.
Can I tell you what I was looking at?
I'm going Steel Wind Strike, baby.
Nah, it's very Gord. It's very Gord.
He can get... There's so many targets in range. You can choose up to 5 creatures you can see within range.
Sick.
You can get 5 with 60-10 damage and then teleport on the other side of them.
Feels pretty perfect for this moment.
I think a 5th level Steel Wind Strike, and we're going to go... I can easily get 5 in range. I'm going to get 5 attacks. First one. 33 hits. Second one, 25 hits. Third one, 15 misses. Get out of my screen. Fourth one, natural 18 hits. Fifth one, 27 hits. So 4 of 5 hit for 39 points of damage each.
Oh my god. Jesus.
So I think easily enough, Gord steps back, swirls the Soulbreaker chains that become like one hardened just blade as he just... And then just with a whirlwind blast of flame and shadow, he just works his way through all the way to the other side, standing on the other side now directly beside Hondo, and dealing 40 points of damage, killing one and leaving several on death's door. When Gord kills something, he gets temp HP equal to charisma modifier plus warlock level. So he gets 5 and 18 is 23 temporary hit points. And as a bonus actions, he could Herald of Death, but it would be more temp HP, resistant to fire, and immune to fear. He's fine. That's good. And then he will use movement to continue getting further ahead. So Gord will be at the 3rd mark. Mary, we come to you.
Yes, I almost dropped my entire dice tray. Okay. Am I near any of them?
You are surrounded by them.
Right.
Yes.
Put away my fucking bow, pull out Affliction. Yeah, we need to at least get the ones off our backs immediately. So I'll take a strike at whichever one is closest, I guess.
Like I say, you're surrounded on all sides by them.
Okay.
The one that Allie had injured that was closest to you, Gord finished off with his teleport, but the others around you are untouched.
Okay. First attack. Oh, God, that's actually really bad. I'm not rolling great tonight, guys. 19.
Just hits.
Oof. Okay.
Good.
That's 14 points of damage.
Okay.
That hits. $18 points damage.
Okay. This one looks incredibly wounded on death's door.
Okay. Oh, do I don't get sneak on any of these, right?
No, because Allie moved away and
Okay.
Hondo is too far back.
Okay. That one hits. 13 points damage.
Okay. That is enough to eliminate this one that you've been slicing into. You carve one away from directly in front of you.
Hey, can I use my bonus action eye for detail to try to see if I can see the pit fiend?
Sure.
Oof, that's a good roll. At least I roll well on that. I'm assuming it was a perception check, right?
Yeah.
25.
No signs of pit fiend at a distance. You know that just beyond, like, the bridge obviously dips a little bit as you're walking, so like you've dropped below horizon line to like see the best possible range. But when you guys waited long enough to let him get further away, that if anything did happen, you wouldn't immediately hear. You imagine that with the time that's passed and the additional silences, and it's likely that it's not close.
Okay. Will I take any attacks of opportunity if I move?
You will take 2.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we need to move. I'll move.
Neither are going to hit. Terrible
Okay.
rolls.
Like,
12 and a 9. So not going to hit you. That is the end of your turn. Action, bonus action, and your full move.
Yes.
Okay, that puts you up with Hondo and Gord and Allie. So now only one behind is Valentine. Standing back,
Coming to
but
me.
we're coming to the top of the round to you.
I'm gonna burst. I'm just gonna fly.
Okay, you'll take 2 attacks of opportunity.
Yep.
A natural 19 is going to hit. The other's a 16.
Nope. The nat 19 does though.
Coming up for 10 points of piercing damage.
You got it.
And
Ouch.
I need a con save for your silence.
You
DC
got
10.
it. 17 nat.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. You begin to fly. You can easily catch up to the rest of everybody with your 60-foot fly.
Yeah.
But you
And
can get further
then-
if you wanted.
I wonder if I should like attack those stupid nests on the other side to try and get their attention.
As soon as you, I want to point out as well, everyone has broken the silence as they've exited on the other side. As we come to the new round, outside of silence, that droning you can all feel is kind of pushing into your minds, Val, as you fly out of your silence. You're spared it for the beginning of your turn as you started in the silence, but as soon as you're out in it, it's beginning to creep in as you're debating what to do next.
I'm gonna fire. So I'll just go my 60. I'm gonna fire 2 Eldritch Blasts at each tree that was like the jingly metal trees at the where we just came from. Try and make some noise, like distract them. And then I'm gonna shoot 2 at the other 2 that were near my friends. Or am I the only last one there?
You're the furthest back. Like, you would be flying to catch up to everybody else. There's still others like that are close to where they are, because there's
I'll
still
just fire
like,
2
It was a
random
line
ones.
of 9 additional that were added. There are 3 that are heavily injured. If you wanted to try and like knock some off the board.
Why don't instead I will fire tree, and then I'm going to fire at a rickety guy who's been pecked to death by vultures, and another one of that. I'm just going to try and cause as much noise in the air as we can.
You got it. Yeah, just go ahead and make 4 attack rolls, and I'll let you know how it goes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Lowest is, what do I add to this with Eldritch Blast? Lowest was 14. Everything else is higher than that.
Your targets are basically stationary, so it's not so much that like you are dealing damage to them unless you want to try and like break things. But if you're just trying to like ping off to like make ricocheting sounds, it's easy enough. Off the trees where you hit both, you hear it does this kind of like whining sound of like bending metal where it strikes, and it seems to turn a couple that were somewhat close. But when you strike down into one of the cages that has this guy that's mostly destroyed, you watch it like it slams in on the first and it swings out and it collides into the side of like the hive where it was like closest to, because it swings heavily on a chain. And as it's kind of coming back, you ping it again and you watch it kind of spin and the chain snaps and it just falls down into the cavern with just this cacophony of ringing metal and screaming and wailing. The droning begins to go really, really loud around the left side where that just happened. The wasps closest to you all are still focused on you, but I think you would notice that the others near the hive have gone into like a full frenzy.
We'll find out if that's good or bad or not.
Anything for a bonus action?
No, that's it.
Okay. Comes to the wasps' turns. The 3 who were injured are going to bail because they are on death's door. And with just the cacophony of shit happening, they dive down to the hive. So they're off the board. However, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are still remaining that are basically untouched. And they are going to keep up the pursuit. There are 5 of you, so each of you are going to get hit once.
This feels fair.
We'll decide who gets the last one. In order, Valentine. We're going stingers for a 25.
I'll fucking take it. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. The stinger comes for the back of Mary. That's a 17. Which misses, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Stinger swings round for Hondo. That is a 22.
AC is 22.
Okay, so that hits. One stinger comes for our Dwarven Barb. That's a 21 to hit. And Gord at the furthest point gets a 20 to hit, which hits him as well. Let's resolve all those before I figure it. Well, I guess, wait, who did I miss?
Missed me.
Throw a second one at you. Let's try and keep it fair. Nope, missed again. You manage to parry both as 2 of them happen to kind of come towards you, and you parry both stingers. But the rest of your party, you feel the plunge of this stinger dig into your side from the various bees around you. You don't need to make the Constitution saving throw. That would be a part of this, as you are resistant or immune to being poisoned, thanks to the boons. But it could have been very bad, as you all feel this burning sensation of poison slipping into your veins that is instantaneously like burned out by radiance. That's going to be 8 points of fire damage and 10 points of piercing damage for 18 to each of you.
I'm resistant to fire, so I'll take 14.
half of that. Yeah.
Did you say
HP
poison?
check 144.
It was a poisoned effect, but you guys are immune to poison. The damage was fire and piercing. Gord is still comfortably up at 98 of 134 with 5 temp HP still. So, but he's taken a bit of a hit from his max HP.
What was he at?
He's at 98 of 134 with an additional 5 temp.
Gordon.
So 103 total. 30 down. That is going to end the turn for these wasps, and with the disturbance and the confusion, I'm not going to add additional wasps to this fight. They've been like messed up and they're trying to figure out what's what. They're flying around, they're dive bombing the guy who just fell in the thing. The hive was just like damaged part of it, so like they're flying to try and investigate that. And in the chaos, you're not drawing further attention yet. However, the droning does not fade as we continue to the rest of you. Brawley, at the start of your turn, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, okay. Wisdom. Oh no, that's a 3. Can I do Indomitable?
Yeah, if you like.
Nice.
Ugh, 11.
As the droning, just this droning buzz. Sorry, hang on. I get the effect up. Just gets into your mind, and you're just trying to focus on running, trying to focus on like, I just got to get out of here. Got to get everybody out of here. This confusion of this mental attack. At the start of your turn, you fall under essentially the effects of the confusion spell. I need you to roll a d10 for me.
Yes, you didn't use Indomitable because we have advantage on wisdoms, I think, from this thing. So you still got that.
You do have advantage on wisdom saves, that's right. So you still have Indomitable for the future.
I
You're
rolled a
muted,
7.
Alec. Okay.
7?
A 7. A creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. If there's no creature within its reach, the creature does nothing this turn. There are creatures within your reach. There are both wasps and allies.
Ooh.
So we're going to roll randomly to determine who you attack. I'm going to have you... So Valentine's out. Valentine's flown way ahead. Hondo's further ahead as well. But Gord and Mary would be within... striking distance of you. So Gord and Mary, and then Wasp and Wasp. So roll me a d4. 1 and 2. 1 is Gord is 1, Mary is 2, Wasps are 3 and 4.
Raleigh's going to real dice for this. She's not fucking around.
Nope. 3.
Great. That's all you need to do.
That's a Wasp. So you can make you make an attack against the Wasp that is nearest to you.
Okay. 17 to hit.
17 does not hit.
Okay.
In the confusion, like you're half holding your head and like reeling and just kind of swing out, and you're not even sure who you're targeting. And the
I
Wasp
duck.
who is nearest. Mary's like, what the fuck? The Wasp that you aim closest to manages to kind of get out of dodge. Unfortunately, that droning costs you your turn. At the end of your turn, however, you can make another wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
With advantage.
With advantage. Okay.
With advantage, that's right.
15.
A 15? 15's going to do it.
Okay, sweet.
That is Raleigh's turn. Hondo, we come to you.
How far am I from getting to the end?
So you guys have traveled roughly 90 to 100 feet, give or take. You're looking at another 150 to 200 to the end, roughly.
And because I'm wondering if I could bonus dash.
You could action, bonus action, and dash. You could do a full move round to get 120 feet. You could get out of here. Well, you get close to the end here now.
Do it.
I think I'll do it.
Okay. Using your action and your bonus action
Fly.
to dash, you fucking start booking it like mad as you move and move so quickly over the cold of the plates of the bridge. You do suffer a lot of damage. 9 points of cold damage, reduced to 4 for you, as just the pure cold of an infernal metal, of this weird infernal metal, like stings at you. But Hondo gets within basically 30 feet of the end. On your next round, you could be on the other side. That's your full round, and by moving, you would still be within range of 1 attack of opportunity as you go to run. So 1 strike at you. It's going to be a 21 to hit. Which misses you, I believe. Right, Hondo?
22.
So that misses. Okay, Hondo is close to the end. Gord. We come to Gord. Let's see. We did... Is it worth teleporting at this stage? Gord could use a dimension door and grab somebody and get across right now.
How did I not even know he had dimension door?
Huh?
That's
He's
one
got
of the ones
dimension
he'd
door.
get back on a short rest, right?
It's one of his packed magics. So he would get any of these he uses, he would get back.
Yeah, if he takes Brawley, that'd be good, and we could give him a cat nap so he could take a 10-minute nap.
But yeah,
I mean, I think we're all going to need a short rest at some point, but yeah, potentially if he needs 2 of them,
I don't know if we can afford a short rest.
we're going to need to.
We gotta kill a devil.
you'll find out as you play this out. Right now, you're not having this conversation.
Gord, grab Brawley.
Gord looks to Brawley as the closest one. Mary, you can take care of herself. Valentine's flying. Hondo's already gone. Hand on Brawley's shoulder. He casts Dimension Door, and the 2 of you arrive 50 feet safely on the other side of the bridge, not even right on the edge. You are 50 feet beyond. The 2 of you are safe and gone, and beginning to get out of dodge. No attack of opportunity. Mary, we come to you.
Okay.
There are still 6 targets directly here.
Yeah. That would all get attacks of opportunity on me.
No, you would only suffer. You would suffer 3 or 4 of them if you're running through.
Okay. I'm the last one back now.
Yes, you were the furthest back.
How far do I have to go?
You have
Ish.
roughly 150 plus.
Okay. I'm going to shit. Do I disengage or do I dash?
They don't hit that hard.
Yeah, I'll start by dashing.
Oh, sorry. Actually, at the start of your turn, you're outside of the thing.
Oh, yeah,
so
make
is
wisdom?
Gord. We both have to do wisdom saves
I was at advantage.
at advantage. Should be
Oh.
fine. Gord's fine. Not really.
I'm fine. I rolled a natural 17.
Just wanted to make sure. Back to what you're doing.
I'm going to run.
Without taking the disengage.
Yes, I want to use my bonus action to dash instead.
Okay, then you will be taking 4 attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
It's going to be a 24.
Yep.
An 18.
Nope.
17.
Nope.
And a 21.
Just hits.
So 2
Don't have my shield right now.
2 in. You're going to take 15 points of slashing and piercing damage as you rush past 2 of them, managing to kind of clip and cut into you.
Okay. I will, at the very least, movement and bonus action.
60 feet.
Okay. And then, should I get the 90 or should I? Is anyone in melee with me at this point, or is everyone kind of at a distance, the baddies?
You could hang back a touch to keep within the closest range of the last one. Otherwise, you guys will start to be getting outside of their range, outside of where they are right now.
What I'll do then is, as I'm moving out, whichever one is the closest to the rest of my friends, I'll attack that one.
Okay.
And hopefully try to clear it off the board. So that if that's the closest one, in theory, the other ones will be further on to get us.
3 attacks.
First one, natural 17.
Hits.
Nice.
Second one, natural 20.
Dead.
Oh yeah. Decapitated.
Done.
Be decapitated.
Yep. Instantaneously, you strike once, and it kind of like it kind of partially parries it. But the second one, you just swish up with affliction, and its head.
Great. And then I'm going to use the rest of my movement to keep moving. And
okay. From Mary's turn, we come back to the top. Before Valentine acts, Val, you can see in the confusion, some wasps are starting to kind of rise up out of the hive, and you're seeing them the column rise up of 50, 60, 70 of these wasps, and they begin to like spread out. A handful going down, a handful going this way, a handful going this way, and a stream of what you gather is about 12 to 15 more headed towards the bridge. They are not dashing as of yet. They're just flying. They've gone 60 feet, so they are still probably 100 plus feet out from you guys, but they're headed in your direction.
Are we all off the bridge?
No. Hondo is just about, he's got 30 feet. Allie and Gord are 50 feet on the other side. Mary still has 90 feet to go. And technically, you still have 120 to 150. At the start of your turn, you need a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Start. You got it. What is that? It's like on the edge. Okay, that's low. 19.
19 is good.
I'm gonna fly 60 towards the end of the bridge.
Okay. You will take 1 attack of opportunity as you go.
Yep.
17.
Miss.
Continue as you were.
And then I might just have to do the Eldritch Blast plan again. Yeah, could I just start pinging other... Could I aim for the chains holding some of these hives up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
As you kind of begin to take aim as you're flying by, you can see there are 4 upper 4 that tethered to the top and 4 that tethered to the bottom, and kind of 1 or 2 that are in the middle, just trying to holding it all steady. As you begin to aim for the 2 on this side, go ahead and what's your roll?
A lowest was 14.
14 is not going to do it. So what's the next one up?
Okay, then second lowest was 6 plus 12, 18.
18 will do for sure. Go ahead and roll damage
Then
on that
so
one.
3 will hit.
We'll do damage on the first one here.
Okay. So then let's roll. Look out of the way. Is that 8 or 2? So 6 force damage for the. Or sorry, 8 force damage for the first one.
Okay. Where you strike, you watch it like kind of quiver and shake, and the whole hive just kind of does a little wobble, but it doesn't break.
What if we pump that up to 12?
12 additional. With the second one that strikes into it, it shatters this amber thing in like a spray of kind of this weird cloud of dust and liquid. And you watch things begin to list just a little bit. Obviously, only one of these supports down, but it begins to list a little. And you now have another shot at the far tether. What's the damage on
This
that
is
one?
11 damage for the last one.
You shoot, and it just, and you see it like begin to like fray and like pull apart, but it's not quite destroyed.
All good.
You imagine that it could be taken down by one more hit would do it.
Mhm.
I'd say part of the group that started coming your direction immediately pulls back and like starts to like go in. You watch them like try to begin to repair, like they like excrete this like weird amber shit, and they begin to kind of try and repair the one that you damaged. That's what they're going to do, but they don't get to it yet. Their turn is next though, but that's what they're going to go and try and do. So that is action, movement, bonus.
Nope.
Okay, comes back to the wasp's turns. 60 feet of movement for them, so they can get up to Valentine and Mary. Hondo, you are beyond their range. There's only 5 of them, so they're going to stick back with Hondo, Mary and Valentine. And at this stage, they don't want you to go any further. This first one is going to go ahead against Mary, and the other one is going to do the same thing against Valentine. As it comes in towards you, you watch all 4 of its sword talon legs kind of wide open, and it goes to grab you in a bear hug and like pierce into you and lift you up. This is going to be a grapple attack. I need an acrobatics or athletics check from both of you against their athletics.
Grapple, athletics or acro?
Yes, and it's a decent roll.
Ooh, I rolled real well. 28.
Not that good.
31.
Not that good. It was 20 on their end, and you both managed to easily kind of dodge and duck out of the way. Mary, I forgot in your movement in the last round that you suffered an additional 3 points of cold damage.
Okay.
Both of them, they come in to grapple and like swirl around you and grab hold, and you both manage to like just Valentine barrel rolls out of the way. Mary just like full on just like slips beyond it, tucks and rolls and keeps moving. There are still 3 here. They're not smart, so they're going to go 2 stingers, 1 against each of you.
I'm just going to use shield.
Okay. Against you is a 16, and against Mary actually is a natural 19 for 26.
Yep.
Under that one, you do suffer. You're not poisoned, obviously, because of the resistance, but you do still suffer. 10 points of fire damage and 10 points of piercing for 20 total.
Oof. Okay.
The last one is going to try one more grapple against you. I can't decide who, so I'm going to roll randomly. Valentine's even, Mary's odds. It's an even.
Me?
The last one, the last one's going to swirl around and try and do the same grapple and grab hold of you.
26.
Right. Not enough. Tries, and you barrel roll one way again out of its grasp. And they are giving chase. So now you guys are in combat basically with 5 of them in terms of attacks of opportunity and stuff like that as we come to your rounds next. But Raleigh, you're on the other side. You're no longer at 50 feet away from the bridge. You don't hear the droning. What do you want to do on your side?
I think at that point, if I wasn't hearing anything still, am I still because I'm out of the sound barrier?
Yeah, Gord's got you outside. Gord's got you like you can still hear you're outside of the silence, but with 50 feet beyond the edge of the gorge, that droning that was fucking with your mind, you don't hear it at this range. You know, if you get close to the edge, you'll hear that droning again, and you can see everyone is rushing in your direction. You still see like there are wasps that are swarming in your direction, but if you get closer, there's a risk of falling under the spell again.
Yeah, I'll get closer.
So what do you want to do?
I'll just keep going with Gord.
Okay. You guys are
Since we're trying to escape.
Go ahead and make either a survival or perception check for me.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe try to find somewhere to that we could all kind of duck down and hide.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, is survival okay for that?
Yeah, survival will be absolutely
13.
Okay. With Gordon, you're looking and like you're still not like you're rushing up the side of the other side of the gorge, but your attention is still like back. You want to make sure that Mary and Valentine are going to get across without issue, and you're seeing them still like battling. They're still in melee with these guys. Hondo is going to be safe. Gord is already here with you, so like your attention is a little diverted, but. What I'd say is at a quick glance, as you kind of come to the crest, looking down into like where it rises and begins to fall back down into these badlands, you can see there's a like two massive like pillars of rock that have like kind of collided and fallen onto each other. They've created this small little cave beneath them that is open, but you can see what looks like a small like a break in the rock that goes down below underneath this, kind of almost creating like an A of rock. You're not sure how like deep it goes or how wide that cave is, but it's at least somewhere that you can get out of sight. Okay. And it's about 150, 200 feet down the slope on the other side, but it would be somewhere to point everyone to.
Okay. Can I just kind of gesture and hopefully everyone can see me?
Yeah, you're at the top of this hill, so actually you're kind of at the highest point right now. So like you pointing in that direction and then starting to go there. Gord's gonna be right behind, Hondo's coming close, and then Valentine and Mary are both very perceptive. Like they would definitely see that direction. So you begin to make your way that way. Hondo, we come to you. You're still on the bridge. I need you to make a wisdom save for me.
Sure.
Give advantage.
Nice.
17.
You don't need it though. You're fine. So you can act of your own volition on your turn.
Perfect. Okay, so the swarm's still there, right?
So you're 30 feet from the end of the bridge, but you can look back and see you're probably 30 to 60 feet ahead of Mary and Valentine, who are now, they've got 5 of them directly on them. They're in melee with them. And you can see another dozen plus are like swarming about 100 to 200 feet away from you yet. But they're coming towards the bridge. They're coming in this direction.
Okay, I'm going to create a phantasmal force.
Okay. Over which group do you want to try and affect? The ones coming or the ones on Mary? Okay. Yep. Sounds good. What do you want to do?
And I'm going to make it what's something that's noisy? Maybe a dragon.
Like the roar of a dragon, or like the apparition of a dragon?
Well, as long as it makes noise. So a dragon that's just like growls a lot, like ah.
You can make it look like the thing that they just murdered, which was like a small dragon.
That's basically like a pale dragon, sickly kind of dragon. Yeah, for sure. What I'm going to ask for is just a straight Arcana check.
Okay.
And I want to know what your spell save DC is once you're done.
Okay, so Arcana. 13. So Arcana check is +5, and my spell save
DC.
where?
You're at the top of your spell.
On your
page.
spells page.
Oh, right, spell. Spell save DC 17.
Okay. Wow. Awful rolls. Out of the 15-ish, 16 of these wasps that you see, as you try and summon this like apparition to try and give them something to focus on, something to draw their attention to, that no one else can see as you're kind of summoning it around this swarm. You watch this kind of what you've seen as like a pillar of like in unison directioned swarm of these massive hell wasps begin to immediately kind of like break apart and swirl and swarm and trying to swarm around this invisible entity that you know to have created in the space right there, and all but one are distracted and all flying around. One gets through the bullshit and continues to fly towards you, uses his action to dash towards the rest of you, but he's still honestly a good distance away. But only one of the group coming to the aid of the other 5 now that are still to contend with that single phantasmal force.
Oh boy!
You managed to hold the others at bay. Use your movement. We'll get you off the bridge, and you still have a bonus action.
With my bonus action.
Oh, and you take 2 points of cold damage, already reduced from 4.
I'm not in range to attack the remaining bees, right?
You could at disadvantage, just because it's so far out of range. So you could throw Whisper out of range at disadvantage, so you could try, but you would not get sneak attack as a result of having disadvantage. So it would just be Whisper's psychic damage.
And you can also just keep going. Like, you can try to hide, you can keep running, you can dash.
Yep.
I don't want to get too far from the crowd, though. I'll attack for now with my bonus.
Sure. Go ahead and just throw at disadvantage Whisper.
Okay.
See if we can hit the closest one.
So first roll.
Okay. It's a huge roll. It's 29.
And second roll, 16.
30. So you definitely hit. No sneak attack on this, but just go ahead and roll Whisper's D3D4 plus 8.
Pretty good. 10.
So 18, yeah. Hell yeah.
Love it.
Deal. You throw Whisper, you strike into this one. It's just like a huge lob, and you watch it just kind of catch it, and it's kind of skitters as it's chasing after Mary and Valentine before Whisper returns back to your hand. From Hondo, we go to Gord. Gord, at this stage, I think is just going to throw Eldritch Blasts back at the various critters. That's a 29. That's a 32. That's a natural 20.
Holy fuck.
And
natural 20.
That's a 22.
God damn.
So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go. 34 points of force damage is going to bring down the same one that Hondo just struck, as he just blasts into him all at once and destroys that guy that was harrying Valentine.
Bye.
Then he's just going to follow up and get with Allie as well. Mary, we come to you. Still on the bridge, you need a wisdom saving throw. You have advantage.
That's 16 plus
You're
7.
You're fine. The droning is obnoxious, but you're focused on what you need to do here. I think we said you have 60 feet left,
I said
roughly.
90.
Are you 90? Oh, yeah, because you didn't dash. You just dash single.
No, but I will this time, which will get me 90.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you will take 2 attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
As one hits with a natural 17 for 9 points of slashing damage. And yeah, with the full move, you get right off the edge standing beside Hondo.
Great.
End of your turn?
Yeah, I'll just kind of say quietly, we need somewhere to duck. Lay low for just a second.
And you can look up and see Brawley already waving everyone down at the top of this hill, and Gord following suit. Top of the round, Valentine, you are still in the droning potential, so I need a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Come on now. My highest was 15. Is that enough?
15 just succeeds.
Oof, my lord. I'm going to fly away. Fly to my friends.
You will take 2 attacks of opportunity to do so. But they both miss awfully. And easily enough, you're able to catch up with everyone. There are 4 of them that are in pursuit, and they will pursue. But once you reach the bridge, Mary and Hondo is the last one. Once you guys start to get further and further away from the bridge, as it comes back around to you guys, you notice that they begin to slow their consistent hunt. They don't want to get too far from the nest, the hive, and they don't want to, for whatever reason, you're not sure, they don't cross too far into open terrain. And very quickly, you guys are able to evade and get up into this cave, this little small cavern that Allie has found, that Alana manages to sneak everyone into. It's not particularly large as you all get in. The shelf of rock, it's almost like the rock has been jutted up over time to allow this little little hatch of rock to have opened in the ground, and you're able to kind of squeeze and sneak down into just a small pocket cavern, where you can hear sounds like the sound of water kind of trickling through beneath, or in hell it could be worse than water. But at least for now, things seem to be quiet. You're relatively safe. And with the spawning grounds of the Badlands of Nessus and the Tower of Malshim on the horizon, we'll pick up there next time.
That was fun, guys. It's fun. It's fine.
That bridge thing was really intense. That was a
fun.
really good puzzle of fuck, what do we do?